But
your ass better call somebody!
It's the Bat Frie, Kenny Fry, the Cowboy, Dave Yarnall. We're the Atomic Drop Podcast. And if you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you.
Suck it! Let's go, baby. Let's go. What's going on, Big K?
It's going, man. I'll tell you what, it is going. After Smackdown, I am super hyped. I freaking goosebumps, brother. Goosebumps.
Are you kidding me? That Smackdown shocked everybody. It shocked the world. I know it shocked me, that's for sure. I can honestly say. Wow.
Insane here, brother.
Dude,
go ahead, Dave.
Jimmy faked us all out with that huge thing that he did to the tribal chief. Are you kidding me? Wow.
I'll tell you what, the bloodline has imploded. Jimmy's promo, absolutely insane, absolutely nuts. The storytelling to that promo was fantastic. We'll get to that a little bit later on. First, though, Brother Dave, I'm going to get to some comments here.
We got comments already? We just started. Where are these comments coming from?
Who was the first comment?
If I had to guess, I would say Eileen, but I could be wrong.
You were right, brother. All right, Eileen says, if you guys come on and have costumes, I will die. I'll tell you what, Eileen, I have a luchador mask because I'm a Batman fan. I have a Bane luchador mask I was going to throw on, but I'm like, I'm going to have to rip it off then and talk and stuff because it gets a little bit tight because I have a fat head.
Eileen, I may not have a costume on, but I'll tell you right now, Eileen, I got the Macho Man Randy Savage shirt on. I'm ready to go, girl. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let's go, baby.
There we go.
Linda, don't tell me to shoot today because I've been pumped up for this podcast all freaking month. I'm ready to go. Linda, how are you? It's great to see you.
Linda,
always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Adam Glenn, there it is. Adam Glenn, #1 fan. What's up, fellas?
Adam, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you, man. Welcome to the podcast of a lifetime. I'm telling you, we're ready. Let's go.
Joel Sullivan. What's up, fellas? What's up, Joe? And we have
Sully, what's up, baby? Good to see you, man. Thank you for chipping in. We appreciate it.
And we have Danny on wheels. Our boy Danny, LOL, he's loving it so far. That's great.
Danny on wheels. Keep going, Danny. Keep rolling, baby. Keep rolling. Let's go.
We have Eileen. Hang on. We have Eileen. I did not 100% watch SmackDown till the end. I preferred to watch the Yankees get tortured.
Oh, the Yankees? We ain't talking about the Yankees. We're talking about WWE, brother.
We're talking about wrestling.
Wrestling.
All right. So Eileen, there's going to be spoilers ahead, just so you know. All right. One more before we get to the topics here. Dave, you are killing. Dave is on crack cocaine.
I don't know what's going on, Eileen. Something got to me about this, but I've been so waiting for this day. We've been pumped up for this podcast. So the Atomic Drop is on, baby. Let's go. I'm ready.
All right. And Maiko says, we just made his damn birthday. Happy birthday, Maiko. Paul Spencer, turning 59 and a half, 65 years old.
How old is that guy? I don't know. That guy Spencer. I don't know about him, but he's a good guy.
And Joe Sullivan, I like the Expos hat. It's an Expos a symbol. What is that? Insignia or whatever. But it's actually my nephew's travel baseball team he played for a couple of years ago. But nice. It is the Expos. It has the M. It's the Expos logo. Rob Hefner says, what are you going to do when Vegas Rob runs wild on you, brother?
Vegas Rob is coming at you, brother. July 8th, he's coming. I'm telling you. I'm feeling it. Let's go.
Joel Sullivan said he loves seeing Dave amped up. Hell yeah, I was pumping him full of steroids and pills before we came on. He is ready to go.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. This isn't baseball, Sully. We're talking wrestling. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
So we're going to start the show off talking a little bit about who we are. So, Dave, you want to tell them a little bit about yourself? Tell them a little bit about yourself, why you're a wrestling fan, your favorite wrestlers growing up, favorite wrestlers maybe even now, if you'd like to.
Cowboy Days wrestling fan. I've been a wrestling fan since I was 9 years old. I've been watching wrestling forever. And I've been through the Hulk Hogan years. I've been through the Macho Man Randy Savage years. But I'm going to tell you right now, Ken, my favorite wrestler of all time, and I think everybody knows this, if you don't know this from now, something ain't right, is the showstopper himself, HBK, Shawn Michaels. I've been a Shawn Michaels fan forever, since back in the Rockers, the Midnight Rockers with Marty. Sean has been my favorite wrestler of all time. So if you guys don't know that by now, then I don't know what to tell you. But I've been watching wrestling for a long time. I've been a fan of it. I've been to pay-per-views. I've seen it all. WrestleManias, SummerSlams. I've seen it all. So you can talk to me. I love wrestling. I've been a big wrestling fan my whole life. So in case you want to ask me any questions, I am free to answer anything you want to go. But like I said, I've seen a lot of wrestling over the years. So, and like, two kids ready to go. My kids are wrestling fans. My daughter's a big wrestling fan. She's my partner in crime when we go to the shows. So me and Faith and I, we get it done. So anyway, that's pretty much about me. What about you, Ken?
Well, I'm pretty much the same as you. I've been a wrestling fan my whole life. Growing up as a kid, my younger brother is just a year younger than me, so we grew up together, always wrestling around with each other. I was an Ultimate Warrior fan growing up. He was a Hulk Hogan fan. So when you had that clash at WrestleMania 5, I think it was 5 or 6, when it was Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan, one of us was going to cry, and I'm glad it was him, and I'm glad it wasn't me. But so from the Ultimate Warrior, then I was an Undertaker fan. Tag team wise, Demolition, Legion of Doom, Bushwhackers. I talked about this before. The Bushwhackers. Me and my younger brother used to lick each other's bald head and stuff like that. We'd get a haircut because we always got a plicky. Well, we call it a plicky. I guess a moonie or whatever you want to call it. Shave this bald.
Crazy.
But yeah, I've always been a wrestling fan, and I used to watch it religiously up through when I was young, up through my teenage years, early 20s. Kind of fell off a little bit. Started watching it hard again. Became a big John Cena fan. I like John Cena. I liked his work. For
you can't see me, Ken. I hear you.
Powerful guy. I thought he was super athletic. Very good in the ring. I thought he did decent with his promos. Got a little bit corny there for a little bit, but when he wanted to, he could always turn it on. Make it hot, make it edgy if he wanted to. That's why I really dug John Cena. And today's product, I don't know. I really don't have a favorite right now. I'm still a big Sheamus fan. I've always liked Sheamus since he came in. I seen him powerbomb Jamie Noble like 10 times on the outside of the ring, which I thought was badass.
Jamie Noble, there's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
and so yeah. So it's I've always been a wrestling fan. Like me and my brother, we used to you remember those old wrestling My Buddies wrestling?
Sure,
buddy
absolutely.
They were called. Mm-hmm. I had an Ultimate Warrior. He had a Hulk Hogan. I think there was one more. I feel like we had a Bret Hart also, or it wasn't. Maybe if it wasn't Bret Hart, it was I don't know if it was Shawn Michaels. But we used to have tag team matches against them. Sometimes we'd lose, sometimes we'd win. I ain't gonna tell you how the Pillows beat us, but they beat us once in a while. There was some shenanigans on the outside from Master Fuji and stuff like that. So.
Bobby the Brain Heenan, what did you got there?
So we always had a good time. Then even our teenage years, we used to go out doing a little bit of backyard wrestling. We'd beat on each other and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple kids up the road we used to have matches with. We'd have our own theme songs coming in and stuff like that. And
there you go.
Making noises, out there, like, the neighbors, I think we were retarded or something. They look out there to see us hitting each other and like, what are they doing? Laying down, and all of a sudden we're getting up and choke slamming each other. It really surprised me that
beach chair wrestling.
and then there was I've been to some shows. Like I think I've been to Smackdown once or twice in the area. Man. I don't think I've ever been to a Raw. I've been to an ECW. WWE ECW, not the ECW in Philadelphia.
Oh, I've been there.
When ECW used to open up, I think for SmackDown a few years ago after Vince bought ECW, I went to one of their shows. As a CM Punk was on. I actually got to see Ric Flair in person, which I thought was fantastic.
I've seen Ric. Yep.
And I've never been to any pay-per-views yet, though. That's one of my.
We got to get you to a pay-per-view, Ken. We got to pump you up. Let's get going, man.
They're a little bit pricey. I'm kind of like I like spending money, because the 3 kids and stuff. It gets things get a little bit pricey.
Totally understand.
But yeah, so I've been a wrestling fan a long, long time. Like I said, as a hardcore wrestling fan, lost it a little bit, back, lost it. Now I'm back again, and I just can't wait to start talking wrestling.
It's crazy, man. Like I said, I've been to WrestleMania 11. I've been to WrestleMania 19. I've been to so many WrestleManias. I've seen them all. I've said my share. SummerSlams, I've seen my share. I was actually at or was it a Survivor Series in St. Louis, Missouri. I met The Rock that weekend. Yes, that was the day he turned corporate, and he won the title that weekend. I was in the airport. He came down, talked to me for like 5 minutes, and said, "Yo, see you in Philadelphia." I said, "I'll see you in October." It was great. But that was when The Rock was. He was a nobody back then. He wasn't even a movie star at that time, you know. But yeah, it was crazy. But I got to meet a lot of wrestlers over the years. I met Shawn Michaels many times. Actually, two or three times I've met Shawn, and Shawn's cool guy. Cool guy.
Well, I met the Honky Tonk Man.
I never met him.
That's the only pro wrestler. He was like a local town here called Origsburg, which is like 5 minutes away. About 5 minutes away from me. There was an indie show going on. We used to go to indie shows. Me and my friends, when I was like 16, 17, we'd drive to like some local indie shows and stuff and check out Pennsylvania Championship Wrestling when it was a thing. Nice. I don't think it's a thing anymore, to be honest with you. But Honky Tonk was there signing autographs, and that's when he was the manager of I think Billy Gunn. I think before Billy Gunn. I think this was before Billy Gunn was Badass Billy Gunn, but he was with. I think it was right after he was with Bart Gunn. I think that's after they split off. I think Honky Tonk.
Oh yeah, okay, Bart and Bill. Yeah, I remember. Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's when it was that time frame. But we asked him. You know, my one friend says that hey Honky Tonk Man, where's Billy Gunn at? He's like, well, his name was Rockabilly.
Rockabilly. Yes, Rockabilly. I remember Rockabilly.
Say, hey, Honky Tonk Man, where's Rockabilly at? He goes, oh, he's at home rocking his wife. I'm like, yeah. But he was pretty cool. It was kind of weird that he said that to a couple teenagers, but whatever. We thought it was funny.
Honky Tonk Man held that Intercontinental title for a very long time.
Yeah. Until the Ultimate Warrior came in and beat him in less than a minute or whatever it was.
That is correct. That is correct.
At my house, the pop that we had when the Ultimate Warrior music hit, and like, oh, because who was it? Was it that I think Brutus Beefcake got hurt before? I think it was Beefcake got hurt before that. Brutus the Barber Beefcake. That's why the Ultimate Warrior, came in to take his spot to fight for the championship. That was fantastic. Just the pop in the house. We were all going nuts and beating our little chests and tying the shoestrings on the arms and stuff like that, and trying not to kill ourselves.
The Warriors' big match was against Hogan in WrestleMania 6, like you mentioned earlier. And Hogan actually talked about that match. I saw an interview with Hogan not too long ago, and he was saying something to the fact that the Warrior wanted to end it early, and Hogan's like, no. We are in Toronto, baby. This is not happening because we got to finish this match. Even though the Warrior did win, Hogan was like, he cried about it all the time. But, good. Congrats to the Warrior. That's all I can say.
And that's how you watch that match back. It wasn't anything like
It wasn't great
match, but the story of like how they got there and what it meant for the Warrior to win that match, kind of like the passing of the guard that never came to be really, because after that match, the Ultimate Warrior never really rose to the heights of what Hulk Hogan, was before that and during that. So it's kind of a.
It was pretty much the Intercontinental Champion versus WWE Champion. That's pretty much what it was. Winner gets both belts. That's all it was. I mean, no big deal.
It was kind of a bummer because the Ultimate Warrior is supposed to be the next big thing, and it's kind of like it's kind of like a rocket taking off and then just fizzling out. It is what it
Warrior and Savage had some wars too back in the day, if you remember. I mean, those two went at it.
Yeah,
Warrior and Macho Man. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, so we're gonna move on from who we were. To a little bit of sad news, the Iron Sheik passed away recently. I don't know, how old was he? Like 81 years old, I think
he was. 81. He was 81 years old.
Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what, growing up, hating the Iron Sheik, that's what you were supposed to do. He was a bad guy. You're supposed to hate the Iron Sheik, and he was a big villain to Hulk Hogan, and kind of got Hulk Hogan on the map. He was able to. Hulk Hogan won his first championship. His first WWF championship against the Iron Sheik, and the Iron Sheik won that belt by defeating Bob Backlund after Bob Backlund had a 6-year run. So like the Iron Sheik was like hot stuff coming in. I had the whole Iranian conflict going on between the Iran and United States, communism. Like there was so much to play off of that. WWE played it perfectly to set Hulk Hogan up as a massive babyface and to set the Sheik up as the massive heel. And I thought they did such a great job with that. Looking back at it now, when I was a kid, I'm not thinking about that. It's still real to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
it's so funny you should say that because I was actually looking over my facts the other day. And did you know that the Iron Sheik was the only Iranian champion in WWE history?
I did. Yes, I did know that.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you knew that or not.
I don't know if the out of the box sports entertainment universe, if they knew that or not, but I did know
if you didn't know that is correct. He was the first WWE champion in Iranian history, a WWE title champion. I think that's amazing to him. But if you remember, the Sheik lost to a certain person on June 23rd in Madison Square Garden. Who was that person? Anybody know?
I'm guessing Shawn Michaels.
No, it wasn't Shawn Michaels. No, Shawn Michaels wasn't even a wrestler he wasn't even a thought back then. June 23rd, 1984.
1984. What?
Yes, 1984. That's correct. Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah.
That was Hulk's first title.
That was Hulk's first title. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. It was the funny part was it was supposed to be against Bob Backlund. Bob Backlund was injured at the time because he wanted his title back. Because I think that's what if I get the story right, they gave it to Hogan, and Hogan ended up beating the Sheik that day. So the Sheik,
you know, he was a bad dude, and so some of the things that I recall, Dave, as a kid growing up watching the Sheik, some of the things that always, you know, we would like, I don't want to say be afraid of, but like we hated as a kid. Like, you know, as you're a kid, you really don't hate too many things. But his curled boots, we used to hate actually, like, oh, that's cheating, Daddy. He got curled boots. He's going to hurt them with his curled boots. So we used to hate that. And like he used to spit, you know, you talk about America, America, like, we used to hate that so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
So iconic for the Sheik, using the term jabroni. You know, before the Rock popularized it, it was the Sheik. You know, the Sheik used to say jabroni all the time.
Actually, that is true. I read that. I did read that. I saw.
The Rock actually called the Sheik up to ask his permission to use jabroni, and the Sheik said absolutely. And so before the Rock, you know, made it so popular, you know, the Sheik was using it, and you know, and his finishing move, the camel clutch. I'll tell you what, my brother had me in that. I had my brother in that so many times. You know, we used to test, you know, the sharpshooter, Boston Crab, figure four, and the camel clutch on each other all the time. And I'll tell you what, the camel clutch hurt. You know, the camel clutch and the figure four probably hurt the most. You know,
I would think that would be my guess. Sure. I mean, the camel clutch was a nasty. I mean, how could you get out of that? Not many wrestlers get out of that move. That's for sure.
No, and it took, you know, that's one of the things about Hulk Hogan is they built him up to be this, you know, the 24-inch Python's brother. And so they built him to be this massive, strong guy. So who else could get out of that besides the massive, strong guy, Hulk Hogan? You know, the strongest man in the universe.
Terry was a big dude, no doubt about it. He was the man back then. And then Vince just built him up, and his career, Rock. We all know where his career went. Rock skyrocketed.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, and the Sheik, you know, as well. You know, his career also skyrocketed. It made him, you know, the more famous Hogan got, the more rivalry he had with Hogan. Bigger the Sheik got, and then you know, you went on to Sergeant Slaughter. He actually was a tag team with Slaughter for a little bit when Slaughter defected from the United States. Well, I can't remember the exact storyline, but they were actually a team together. I don't know if that was during the Gulf War or
I think it was during the Gulf War. I think it was.
Yeah, it was somewhere around that time. And you know, he was also a tag team with Nikolai Volkov.
Nikolai Volkov, exactly. Yeah. And their manager was Classy Freddie Blassie at the time.
Classy Freddie Blassie.
Actually, Sheik was born in Iran. Did you know that?
Yep, and he was also an Olympic wrestler for the Iranian army. So
read that too. Yeah,
he had the legit skills of an amateur wrestler. You know, so you know, he was actually a real wrestler. You know, a very good one at that. So he was the Kurt Angle before Kurt Angle was Kurt Angle. So
this is true. Yeah,
to a point.
Sheik was a crazy guy.
So yeah, go ahead.
Didn't him and Duggan get in trouble in Jersey? Did I hear that?
I think it was. I don't know if it was New Jersey or New York, but somewhere in there. But yeah, they were driving along, and so the big thing was back then. Duggan was a super baby face, and the Iron Sheik was a bad guy. So back then, before kayfabe was broken, you know, the bad guys, you know, traveled separately from the good guys. The bad guys, you're always a bad guy out in public. The good guys, you're always a good guy out in public.
Right.
Well, when they got busted together, that kind of pulled the wool
kind of busted it all up.
You know, but I mean, yeah, you know, you could always play that off like, yeah, hell, you know, we got cocaine. You know, it's the good guy that he kidnapped me, made me do the cocaine. You know, they could have won. You know, Hacksaw Jim Duggan with the crooked eye. Oh, USA! You know, who knows? You don't know. So, but they could have played that off in so many different ways. But, I mean,
USA Hot Tui.
But yeah, they got busted together, and I guess they had some drugs on them, I think it was, or whatever. And that kind of put the.
Back then, they didn't really keep it. Back then, the business wasn't as big as. I mean, it was big back then. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't as big as it is now.
It was just starting to blow up. I think because I think it was mid '80s when they got busted, mid to late '80s when they got busted, somewhere around there. I don't know the exact year or anything like that, but it was. They did get busted.
I think it was around 80. I want to say around 84, 83. Somewhere in that area,
somewhere around there, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go through some comments, and then we're gonna play.
I want to see who we got.
A nice tribute video that Paul Spencer put together for Iron Sheik. But we're gonna go through comments because I'm way behind.
Yeah, let's go, kid.
We got Joel Sullivan said you guys call Balco. I don't know who Balco is.
Balco.
Balco. The steroid. The Barry Bonds. Rob Hefner, July 8th. Let's go, brother. Have a great show, guys. Joe Sullivan again. The Macho Man and Elizabeth. Who am I? I'll be Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be Elizabeth. Danny on Wheels says Undertaker was his favorite. I love I still love the Undertaker. I love the way he kept in character for all those years.
It's amazing.
I got to see Undertaker wrestle Yokozuna in a gym in Shamokin, Pennsylvania, which is a small crackhead town north of me. And I get men on the mission. You remember Mo Oscar?
Sure, Big Mo, of course. Yeah, Mabel.
They wrestled. I don't remember who they wrestled.
Wait, that's King Mabel to you, sir.
Not yet. He was not King Mabel yet.
Oh, okay.
Those are a couple of superstars I remember seeing. I just remember seeing how big the Undertaker was, how scary he was. He was a good guy, though.
I met Taker back in the day, big dude.
And Yokozuna, just how big he was and how well he moved. I was so surprised. I might have been like, I don't know, I might have been like 13. 14,
in fact, I met actually, I didn't tell you this, but I was at WrestleMania 11 and I met Yokozuna up in Pittsburgh. I was there for that. Yes, that was.
He's a Samoan. I didn't realize that until just recently watching a thing on him. He was related to the Rock and stuff like that, which is absolutely amazing.
So, if you remember Yokozuna, who was Yokozuna's manager? Do you remember?
It was Mr. Fuji.
Correct, Mr. Fuji. Yep.
Well, I remember when Bret Hart lost to Yokozuna, the salt in the eyes, and Hulk Hogan came out and won the belt against Yokozuna.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it was a disqualification.
Well, who slammed Yokozuna? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Lex Luger.
Yeah,
the narcissist.
You were on the money tonight. You were on it, kid.
That was on a battleship carrier. Also,
yes, that is correct. The Lex Express. How could you not forget the Lex Express?
Maiko Spencer says Bushwalkers walk time. Whoa!
I love it. Luke and Butch, baby. Evan
Laura, RVD was his guy. HBK was way better. I'll tell you what, I love.
You know what? If those two are so similar, it's not even funny. Because they're just the way they were. Sean was better. I get it, but RVD was unbelievable. That guy. Oh my gosh.
I'll tell you what. The thing with RVD, I feel like he was way ahead of his time because, like, you see most of the wrestlers now are so athletic, so acrobatic. And I feel like RVD was on the cusp of being something like that. And his athleticism was bar none at that time. So good in the ring. Just some of the stuff he did was absolutely insane, like leaping from the ring apron to the top rope. And he'd fake like a stomach pain, and all of a sudden he'd go running. It was fantastic. I
loved it when he had the chair. He'd throw the chair at you, then he would do roundhouse kick on the chair.
Yeah.
Oh, unbelievable!
Awesome, great, great innovator and stuff like that. I love RVD.
How can you not?
Adam Glenn, Bret Hart is his favorite wrestler. He didn't like HBK. What? If you're a Bret Hart fan, you cannot love HBK. That's a rule.
Adam, I understand where you're coming from. I mean, Bret Hart and HBK, I mean, that was the rivalry of all rivalries right there. And, of course, the Montreal Screwjob, we all know about that. So we won't go there in 1997. But that was an incredible rivalry, those two. And they actually wrestled each other when the Hart Foundation wrestled the Rockers, too. So it goes back a long way.
And Adam, Adam, I was a huge Bret Hart fan also. The excellence of execution, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. And man, I wanted those sunglasses so bad. my dad would take us to an event, a live event. They'd have the little stand there selling stuff. Daddy, I want that Bret the Hitman Hart glasses. No, damn it. So it was.
Dumb it. But the thing about Bret Hart was I was never a Bret Hart single man. I liked him with Jim the Anvil when they were the Hart Foundation, and I was fine with that, Mr. Anvil over there. I hear you. But Jimmy Hart was the manager, and they were a great tag team. And that's when that's when he really skyrocketed after he left the Hart Foundation. And rest in peace, Anvil. I'm sorry to hear that. But they were a great tag team. No doubt about it.
And I tell you, what a great faction the Hart Foundation was. All the members, British Bulldog, Owen, even to a lesser extent Natalia and
Natalia. That was her dad. I mean, it's her dad.
But she kind of came a little bit later. But yeah, the Hart Foundation that faction was fantastic.
R.I.P. Owen. We all know that was a sad situation too.
Yeah. Rob Hefner, Ken Fry, how many matches did you attend at Hershey Park Arena? I think I was there for 2, to be honest with you. I definitely remember 1, but I feel like I was there for at least 2. The one I really remember, I remember seeing The Rock there, Stone Cold, and I think Triple H was there as well. And the reason I remember this is because Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
On the way home, I'm a young driver. I think I was 16, 17. I have a car full of people. Nobody's wearing seatbelts. People were on laps. I don't know where the hell I'm going. I'm like, I just got to go north. So I'm taking all sorts of routes north. It took me, a 45, 50-minute ride took me an hour and a half to 2 hours because I didn't know where the hell I was going. So, but yeah, it's I love Hershey Park Arena.
I have a story about the Hershey Park Arena. I was just there not too long ago. My daughter and I went to the last show. We saw Seth Rollins, who was great. It was a phenomenal show.
Seth freaking Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins, the WWE champion. But the show that I was at that really sticks in my mind was the show where Edge and Lita did the bed scene. and I was at that show, and that was incredible. I got there late that night. I left my job. I got there about 10. That's when Raw started at 9 o'clock. It didn't start at 8 o'clock at the time.
For good reason.
For good reasons, right? Exactly. And that show has a lot to be desired. That show will. Cena let off that show. Cena ended that show. That was crazy, but we'll just leave it at that.
That Edge and Lita with the bed scene and stuff like that. I can't tell you how many times I watched it. I still hope that the sheets get pulled back. Like, come on.
You know what? There's a lot to say on that show, but I don't think we're allowed to say it on where we are. So we'll just leave it at that.
So we go to Evan real quick here. Evan says, my love for wrestling started from my father, me in the ring at 3 years old doing Hurricane Ranas. Perfect. If you don't know, Evan's father, Big Mike, is also a wrestler. Does some indie wrestling. I can't think of his name right now.
Evan, what was his wrestling name? Could you let us know that? I really don't know. I think I've heard it.
I could picture his look. I could see it, but I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I'm sure Evan will let us know.
Evan says that's because Warrior held up Vince for huge money to show a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And Vince, pretty much, they got into some contract issues, some money issues, and eventually the Warrior. I don't know if the Warrior left or Vince just said, "All right, see you later." I think Warrior left him a note or wrote him a letter. I see the whole documentary on it, but I can't remember what's what there anymore. Evan says Persian clubs were amazing. With the Sheik with those Persian clubs where you do that.
People couldn't actually do that. It was so funny. They would get. I think one person. It was only one person did it. I don't remember who.
Bob Backlund.
Bob Backlund, right? It was Bob Backlund.
I was just watching the thing on the Sheik after he passed away. I was watching a documentary on the Sheik, and they were talking about those Arabian dumbbells or whatever the hell they're.
Those things were heavy, man. Did you see those guys? Oh my gosh!
They said how heavy they were. I can't remember what it was. It's like 140 pounds or something like that per club. And just the way the Sheik just kept doing it. It's like, it's like
well, it was nothing to him. My God, he knew what he was doing.
Maiko says an Iranian coined the term jabroni. Amazing. Iranian Italian.
Leave it to the Iranian to coin the term jabroni. I'll tell you, crazy.
Evan said you never had someone almost sit on your back in Boston Crab. Well, and so when me and my brother did the Boston Crab on each other. I'm thinking we had it too high because it never really it always hurt our legs or our upper upper quads. It always kind of hurt there. So I'm guessing we kind of had each other by the ankles instead of really wrenching behind the knees and pulling back on the back.
Crazy.
But there was no getting around the old camel clutch. That's sitting in the back, arms on the knees and head back. It was crazy.
And he pulled too. He took that chin. He pulled that thing back. I mean, like, had to hurt.
Eileen says yes. Duggan and Iron Sheik together. I picture, like, whenever I hear about that story. You ever see that movie Dumb and Dumber?
Yes.
So I picture, like, when Harry and Lloyd are in the sheepdog.
Oh my gosh.
Driving down the highway and they're just like talking to each other. If you're running, like, I just picture Duggan and Sheik driving in a sheepdog. That's how I see it. I don't know why.
Who was driving is my question. It couldn't have been Sheik, right? It had to be Duggan.
It had
to be Duggan.
Lee says, didn't that cost one of them their job? I think it cost the Sheik. I think it cost him.
It cost the Sheik their job, but he got it back later on. Like, he came back to WWE. Yes.
It wasn't too long. Evan says RVD was better. Ooh, than Shawn Michaels.
Ooh.
Evan says HBK returned to Montreal where he pranked the crowd with Brett's music. Oh my God.
That was phenomenal, Evan. I loved it. He had that crowd going. It's like, got you just a little bit, didn't I? That HBK. Dude, don't even get me started. I loved it.
Fantastic. That was good stuff. Rob says, hell, you could do a show on the Montreal screw job. Oh, we absolutely can. Yeah.
Why not? We could do that. Absolutely.
In the future. Adam says all the wrestlers in the 80s and 90s were on cocaine. Hell yeah, they're wrestling every day, twice a day, and sometimes 3 Sundays. I don't know.
Hey, those guys' schedule was crazy. They had to keep going somehow.
Evan Laurel said the Slayer. That's what it is, the Slayer.
Oh, the Slayer. Okay.
Even Adam Glenn knows that, the Slayer.
Hey, Adam's all over it.
Michael says, when my kids were really young, I used to let them put me in a sleeper hold, and I acted like I passed out until they started crying. I used to do that to my oldest daughter when she was little. I would put her in a sleeper hold. I'd say, all right. So now close your eyes. And she closed her eyes. I said, pretend like you're sleeping. I said, I'm going to raise your arm. I said, on the third time now, I said, keep it raised and start shaking it. I said, then start yelling. And so I'd raise it once and she'd be all like this. I'd raise it again and I'd whisper in her, okay, one more time. And I raise it up and it comes down a little bit and she puts it up and her little tiny hand in the air. She starts, like that. It was fantastic.
Crazy.
Right. We're going to play an awesome tribute video to the Iron Sheik that our buddy Maiko Spencer put together, Paul Spencer put together. So we're going to play that here. So bear with us for 1 second here. I got to find it here for a second. I thought I seen it. I went past it. Bear with me. Where is it at? Yeah, so RIP to the Sheik. He'll be missed. One more thing on the Sheik. His Twitter was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Like there's so many years I didn't hear from the Sheik. I think he might have appeared like in a Royal Rumble as like an old guy, like kind of thing. Like that.
He probably did. It wouldn't surprise me. With him, anything's possible.
A bunch of legends in there, and I think he was one of them. But I didn't hear anything from the Sheik in years, and all of a sudden I started seeing his tweets pop up, actually on my Facebook page. And people would screenshot him or something like that, and they were absolutely hilarious. Just like some of the stuff he would say, like, Hulk Hogan, that jabroni coming around here, I break your fucking neck. It's like, oh my God, the Iron Sheik is alive and well. Holy cow.
Hey, Sheik never held back. That's for sure, man. He was one of those guys. He just said it to say it. He didn't care.
And that's what I loved. I followed his Twitter, and it was it never let me down. I'll tell you, anytime something happening in the world,
you can count on the Sheik.
Get in trouble, you can count on the Sheik to say something about breaking his back or breaking his neck and dropping expletives everywhere.
I run. USA Hatsui.
All right, so we'll move on now. So we were talking a little bit of old school WWE already. Is there anything else you want to add to the old school WWE?
I was thinking tag teams back in the day, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what do you have in mind?
I was thinking like maybe the British Bulldogs.
So that was Davey Boy Smith and Dynamite Kid. When they come out, with their capes, the what is that called, the Union Jack or whatever? The British flag.
What was the dog's name?
Hang on. I had it on the tip of my tongue just a second ago, and I was going to get to it. It was
come on.
It was I don't know.
Matilda.
I kept thinking Marley because that stupid book and movie Marley and Me. I didn't see it. I don't know why it's in my head, but it's there.
Matilda.
I have freaking Marley and Me running in my head for some reason.
It's so funny. I was a big Dynamite Kid fan too. He was huge. I mean, he was that snap flex he could do was incredible.
Wow. And there's a couple more superstars that were taken really young. The British Bulldog dying in a car accident, I believe, in Colorado. And
is that what I? Oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
And the Dynamite Kid dying not that long ago, maybe 2-3 years ago. But WWE didn't really recognize it, and that was one of the big things. Like, there was a lot of backlash, because he gave a lot to the company with the British Bulldogs and stuff like that. But and even before that, I don't remember what territory he was before he was with the British Bulldog.
Well, it's so funny. Like, the Bulldogs were just like their big break, I think, was Valentine and Beefcake. I think that was the big rivalry at the time when those two were really going really making
Hammer Valentine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, I think that was their big moments at the time. Bulldogs were, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, I don't remember, Dave. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Back it was a long time ago. But their manager, if I'm not mistaken, was Lou Albano. If I think that's right.
I think you're right. I don't know. That sounds right. I feel like Captain Lou was their manager for a little bit anyway. And also the British Bulldog was married into the Hart family, so that kind of a part of the Hart Foundation kind of thing. Later on, during the Montreal screw job and stuff, and I was just watching that again, actually, talking about the Montreal screw job on I think it was on the Dark Side of the Ring or something. I don't remember what it was on for sure. But the Killer Bees, that was also
I was just thinking them.
Yeah, B. Brian Blair and
Jumpin' Jim Brunzell.
Okay, I always remember Brian Blair because it was B. Brian Blair.
Right.
Killer Bees.
Well, Jim Brunzell trained the Sheik. He worked with the Sheik, actually.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yep. And he was one of the Sheik's guys.
They used to come out with the bee masks on. We wanted, as a kid, again, we wanted the bee masks, So
Bumblebees, man. You got
and of course, you had the Bushwhackers, the Demolition. They were a bunch of. When I look at the Demolition now, it's kind of weird with them wearing all that SMN, Dungeons and Whips type.
That was kind of like a Road Warrior thing to them. Yeah. That was kind of like a gimmick of the Road Warriors.
But you also had the movie out, the Mel Gibson movie. What the hell is that called? That wasn't called? What the hell is that called? The Mel Gibson movie.
Which one?
I don't remember. It wasn't not Lethal Weapon, obviously.
No,
it said like during the apocalypse and stuff like that. Mad Max, yes, the Thunderdome.
Oh, Mad Max. Okay, right. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And it was kind of like I felt like it was kind of a play off of that because there was a character in that movie that kind of almost had the same getup, the same kind of gimmick. But you're right. It's during the Legion of Doom. They both have their face painted, both sets of tag teams. Legion of Doom had the huge shoulder pads with the spikes, which every kid wanted.
Well, it was kind of Legion of Doom, Demolition, and if you remember, Warlord and Barbarian, they did the same thing.
They did, but they weren't nearly as popular. I don't think they could have been because they were some big dudes, but they're a little bit more. All they were just like brutes. Like they didn't really have the storytelling. They didn't really have the athleticism. It seemed like as the as Demolition or Legion of Doom had back in the day.
Right.
But it's Legion of Doom was like the top tag team. It seemed like in any promotion that they were in.
Mm-hmm.
When they were in WC, I think it was WCW or NWA. I didn't watch that. I watched WWF as a kid because that's what we got.
We all did,
but,
right?
We still heard of Legion of Doom or the Road Warriors. We still heard of them, and the spiked shoulder pads. It's the same thing like Ric Flair. He wasn't on WWF until later. Until I was I don't know 10, 11, 12, 13, somewhere in that age group. But early on, I still heard of Ric Flair just by word of mouth. There was no interwebs or nothing like that. So
okay, so you can't forget about Tully and Arn because they were a big tag team too back in the day. But
the Brainbusters, right?
if you're watching the show and you see us, I would love to know who's your favorite tag team. Let us know because we want to know. We really do.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So shoot some tag teams out there.
Bring them out.
Just like you say about Tully and Arn, but I remember Arn Anderson and there was somebody else that was a brainbuster. Who would Arn Anderson tag with when Bobby Heenan was their manager in WWF?
It was Tully.
Was it Tully? I feel like it was somebody else.
I don't think it was Tully and Arn were always together. I don't remember Arn being able to. Maybe Ole. It could have been Ole. Well, it wasn't Ole, was it?
No. For some reason, I feel like it wasn't any of the Anderson guys.
Because Ole was a big. He was a Four Horsemen. Rob, Legion of Doom. There you go.
And that's another tag team, the Four Horsemen that you didn't see because of where you lived at the time, but you heard of them.
Right, exactly, and
Adam Glenn, Demolition.
Yep, Demolition.
Michael Spencer says, "Man, I love the Dudley Boys." And Devon jumped off the turnbuckle and stuck his tongue out.
What's that?
It's a funny story about that. I used to work with a guy at when I used to work at this one steel plant. I don't know. I don't really want to drop the names. I don't know if I'm. What the hell was it? Chalmette it was called. It was a steel plant. He kind of looked like a Devon.
Really?
He looked like Bubba. I mean, he looked like
Bubba. Oh, Bubba Ray. Okay.
And so, they always kind of.
Or is it Bully Ray? I get confused anymore. Is it Bully Ray, Bubba Ray? You tell me. I don't know anymore.
It's Bully Ray when he's not in WWF. So
gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense.
So he looked like Bubba, and so I used to come up to him. I'd push him. I go, Bubba, get the tables. Even though Bubba said it to Devon, but I go, get the tables.
Actually, a friend of mine who looks like Bubba. His name's Sherm, but we call him Bubba Sherm because he looks like Bubba Ray does.
Lots of guys out there look like Bubba.
They do. A lot of guys, yeah, they do.
And then like Paul said, a Devon would get up there to the top rope. They go, what's that? Those guys did some crazy things, and they did it. It didn't matter if you were a man, woman, old lady, dog, fish, cat, bird. It didn't matter. You were getting slammed through a table.
This is true.
Who they slammed through? Was it Mae Young or was it Fabulous? They put through.
I think it was Mae Young. It was Mae Young.
Mae Young was out there 150 years old taking bumps like a pro. It was unbelievable.
I'm telling you, crazy. I'm going to bring up another tag team that I kind of liked. They were kind of like, they weren't cheesy. They actually weren't bad. Do you remember the Beverly Brothers?
I do a little bit, but I could picture in my head, but I don't remember their names.
Well, actually, I was going to say the Midnight Express first, but then I thought of the Beverly Brothers. They're kind of...
Well, Rick Martel, he used to team up with somebody. I remember Rick Martel.
He was with, they were called Strike Force. Him and, oh, geez. Jim Powers.
Oh, I don't know. You remember that? I would have never.
Yes, sir.
But I remember Rick Martel. But I remember him mostly as the model. Rick Martel used to come with that spray all the time.
Arrogance, come on, cat, arrogance. We all know that was arrogance.
We were like, "Oh, yes, that spray, Dad. That's cheating, Dad. That's cheating."
And yes, Mr. Baker Spencer, the best match is TLC. We'll never forget Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys, and the Hardys. How could we know?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
So that's one show. That's one match you could break down probably for a whole show. Also. Rod says he can't wait to get back. Yeah, right around the corner. Rob will be back very, very soon on the Vegas.
Rob, we're still here waiting for you, brother.
The natural disaster.
Oh, the natural earthquake and typhoon. I forgot about this too.
Typhoon was actually tugboat before that.
Tugboat. Yep.
So it's kind of funny. We hold an annual cornhole event to raise money for my daughter's softball team. That team that I'm a coach for.
Yeah, I've seen it advertised. Yes,
and so the last year's cornhole tournament, me and another coach who's a bigger guy like me, we're trying to think of a team name. He's like, "Oh, we should be the Natural Disasters."
There you go.
I said, "So which one do you want to be?" He's like, "I want to be Typhoon." I said, "Yeah, because Earthquake's the fat ass out of the bunch, and that's me. I'm the fat ass." So,
dude, I'll tell you, Earthquake actually had some wars with Hogan back in the day. Him and Hogan had.
Earthquake could move for a bigger dude. He could absolutely move. He was super athletic, fast. He wasn't just a fat ass out there running around, sitting on people's chests.
All right, people out there, I know you're wrestling fans. I want to know. Do you know who Earthquake's manager is? And if you can tell me, let me know. I would love to hear the comments.
Earthquake's manager, who it was?
Yes, who it was? Who was Earthquake's manager? Anybody remember? Rob says he remembers the Beverly Brothers. Okay.
Eileen says any tag team with Otis in it makes me laugh.
Otis. Yes.
What the hell? I can't think of their name right now off the top of my head.
Otis and Chad Gable. Chad Gable.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
What's their name?
Huge. Oh God. I can't.
We're talking about the freaking Killer Bees from 19.
We went to the Killer Bees to the Beverly Brothers. We're all over the place. Oh my gosh.
We can't think of a wrestling tag team with an Otis in it from today.
It'll come to us. Don't worry. We'll get it.
Otis and Chad Gable. The Academy. Something.
The Alpha Academy. There you go. Yeah. The Alpha Academy. There you go.
What, I was dying when they were showing the girl. I can't think of her name. How to do an arm drag.
Yes.
There, and Otis is there all stocky and blown up, and he's like his arm is like Tyrannosaurus arms. He's trying, and then you have Chad Gable like showing her how to do it. It was wearing his little dad shorts I have, the cargo shorts with the whistle coming down and everything. I was dying.
Crazy. Yeah,
Academy.
Hey, actually, they got a big win. Chad got a big win on Monday night.
Oh, he did.
Yes, he did.
Fry Foundation in the house. There it is.
Fry Foundation. Yes, absolutely.
Well, for anybody that doesn't know what the Fry Foundation is, the Fry Foundation was created back when I was in high school. I believe I was a senior in high school. And that's huge when NWO was going on and DX and stuff like that. But NWO was huge. Mm-hmm. So during two-a-day sessions, double sessions during football in August, in between our first practice and second practice, we'd have like a 2-hour break. Mm-hmm. So we there was certain groups of people. We call them shady acres. They'd go outside and they'd lay down underneath a tree and take a nap. There was the ghetto bunch. They slept in the weight room. They took a nap there. There was what the hell do we call them? They're like the high society guy. We call them, but there's a term like the heights. I think we called them the heights or something like that. They slept on the benches in the locker room. And, I called us the Fry Foundation because there's all of us, because there was 3 Fries in the team and a whole bunch of friends. And so we called ourselves the Fry Foundation. And I was a leader. My younger brother was a leader. And my cousin was a leader also, Daniel. And so we used to go throughout school. When school started, we go out to recruit members to the Fry Foundation. Rob Hefner was one of our early members, one of our original members of the Fry Foundation. And we had like 50 people in the Fry Foundation. It's becoming a whole thing here.
I would love to be a part of the Fry Foundation.
You're in. There it is.
Love it. Actually, the girl you were talking about was Maxine Dupre. That's what we're talking about.
That Maxine, yep.
There you go.
Maiko says, man, I tell you, the show was the best idea. I'm laughing and yelling. Yes, hearing you guys reminisce in the old days of WWE. Simply the best damn show on Friday nights.
Wow, that's big coming from him.
tell your grandmothers and grandfathers we're talking old.
Did you know tonight was is Maiko's birthday? He has a birthday today. I didn't know if anybody knew about that. I just thought I'd say happy birthday to Maiko Spencer.
Happy birthday again.
There you go.
Right. So we're gonna move on from old school, and before we do the Raw recap, actually, we're gonna do a sponsor read here real quick. I'll do the first sponsor read.
Go for it.
I got to put it up there first. All right, Monkey Cold Coffee. There we go. Love Monkey Cold Coffee with their bourbon chocolate chip infused coffee and the toasted coconut rum coffee at monkeycoldcoffee.com. They also have swag, t-shirts for sale, coffee cups, tumbler cups. They also have the cold brew pitcher. I have the cold brew pitcher. I have the tumbler. I'll tell you what, I freaking love my tumbler. I've tried both coffees. Love both coffees. Toasted coconut rum is my favorite. Actually, right now, that's actually my favorite coffee, period. To be 100% honest with you, the toasted coconut rum. So if you haven't tried toasted coconut rum or even the bourbon chocolate chip infused, give them a shot, give them a try. And at checkout, make sure you enter the promo code OOTB Sports. That's OOTB Sports for 10% off of your purchase price. And as further incentive, the owner of Monkey Cold Coffee also gives 10% of the proceeds to battle pediatric cancer. So that's a huge incentive right there. So even if you screw those out of the box sports guys, they're a bunch of wiener heads and stuff like that. Do it for the kids, the sick kids. Nobody wants to see a kid sick. Help out any way you can. So buy yourself some Monkey Cold Coffee, bourbon chocolate chip infused, toasted coconut rum at monkeycoldcoffee.com. So make sure you check them out. Thank you.
I know Big Mike's a big fan of cold coffee. He said that before. I've heard him say that many times.
I'll tell you what, Dave, I don't know if you're a coffee drinker or not. If you tried it yet.
I'm not a. I've know people who drink it. I mean, I'm not a. I do what I can.
The first time I made toasted coconut rum, I mean the aroma in the house was absolutely amazing. It's just like, and the taste was just as good, but the aroma, it's like, man, if I could make this into a deodorant somehow, I'd be on easy street then.
There you go.
People would be opening doors for me.
Set to go.
So let's talk a little bit of Raw recap here, buddy.
Let's do it.
So Monday Night Raw, I just watched it today. I was on vacation.
Okay.
So when I got back, we got back late yesterday. So I watched Raw today, and I was taking notes because I forget a lot of things. Like Alpha Academy, they're wrestling a tag team that's in today's present product, and I could not remember that. I just forget all the time.
Oh my gosh, the Viking Raiders! Come on, Ken.
And the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar and Valhalla. Yep. I remember that. See, that's
Eric and Ivar. Yep.
I'm a huge fan of the TV show Vikings that was on, so that's why I remember that.
There you go.
So real quick, I have all the matches, all the segments written down here, so I don't forget. But to lead off the show, there's an introduction to Rhea's new belt.
Yes.
So what do you think about that?
I kind of liked it. I liked it, but at the same time, I was like, it kind of looked like Seth's belt to me. His Seth's championship belt. Did you see the same thing that I did?
Because it looked exactly like
it did. It looked like right, exactly. But my question is she going to carry both belts, or is she just going to carry the one? Because
that's one thing I don't understand right now. Because I just watching SmackDown a couple minutes ago, now 45 minutes ago, watching SmackDown. You see Paul Heyman there holding two belts across his chest.
Right.
And then Roman has a belt. I'm like, why? Why are they still carrying those belts around?
What was the point of giving Roman that belt if you're going to carry the two? Right.
I'm a little bit lost with it also. So I think we'll know more next week when we see Rhea, if she's going to carry two or one. Is Dom going to wear the old one?
That's what I was thinking the same thing. And probably Dom is going to wear the other one. You watch.
So that's one thing I don't understand either.
Her Dom, as we call it.
I love Rhea Ripley. I think she's super hot. I think she's not hot like I think she's super sexy. That is what I'm getting at.
She's really carried herself really well. I got to give her credit because I was never a Rhea fan. And if people know, I'm a Charlotte fan. That's just what I am. I've been rooting for Charlotte. And when Rhea beat Charlotte at WrestleMania, I was very upset about it. But I can see why now because, I mean, it's her time. It's just her time to shine, and she's taken it to another level. Got to give her credit for that.
Oh, absolutely. Rhea is super great in the ring. Her and Charlotte. A terrific match at WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
But, Charlotte, it's always, whenever Charlotte wrestles, it's a 5-star match. And it's the same thing with Rhea. I feel like, they're both on that level, top level. Out of the Box Sports Entertainment since it's Paul's birthday, since he loves coffee, we will send a free Monkey Colt coffee to anyone who orders over $50 in products and sends OOT Box Sports the copy of the receipt. So send your receipt to Out of the Box Sports, through Messenger or instant message, direct message, DMs or whatever, and our boy Paul will hook you up with something from Monkey Colt Coffee, in honor of his birthday.
Not a bad deal.
No, that's a fantastic deal. So he also says, "Sexy, can we talk Liv?" Liv Morgan.
Well, Liv's hurt right now. She's on the shelf, so we can't really talk Liv too much.
Hurt right now. So I like the belt because I like Seth's belt, but it's not much different, which is good, because in the past, like they had that stupid Divas belt with that butterfly, it was, I don't want to say it was demeaning, but it was kind of demeaning to the women to have something like that. But for that current product at that time, all right, I
kind of thought it was going to be like, I didn't think it'd be like Seth's belt, but I kind of felt like maybe a different color, like maybe a pinkish or something like that. I wasn't thinking. I mean, don't get me wrong; it's a nice belt and everything, and I'm happy for Rhea. I really am, but I was kind of thinking something different. But that's just
I think the only difference might have been the leather. I feel like maybe the women's one that Rhea had might have a different color backdrop, a different color leather strap to it, but that might be it.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely.
So then Rhea gets her belt. Dom comes out, and people are going nuts. And I'll tell you what. Say what you want about Dominic Mysterio, but the dude is red hot right now. There's so much heat on him. It's fantastic.
It's so funny because a lot of people on the other show that I was on, it was a big Dom, is a Dom guy, and it says Dom is like the biggest heel in the sport today. I can't disagree with that. I can't, and I'm not.
You know what this reminds me of so much, Dave? It reminds me of when Vicky Guerrero was the general manager of, I don't know if it's SmackDown or Raw.
Mm-hmm.
But when she was GM, every time you heard the words "excuse me," that place would go bananas.
Excuse me.
With the boos. I mean, and that was her job was to get heat, and the boos were so just coming they drown her out, and that's what's happening to Dom right now.
Yeah, Dom's killing it.
You could barely hear him because of the boos, and that's what he's out there to do. So he's doing a fantastic job. He's a decent worker, but he doesn't look the part. But I mean, he has the white heat on him. Yeah, he's red hot.
I'm just glad they stepped away from the story of him and his dad because I was tired of hearing it. I was tired of seeing it. I was getting old at the time, so it's time to move on with that, which I'm happy about. I'm glad they moved on with it. But Ray and Dom, what a couple! those two belong to they belong together. That's for sure.
And so people cheer Rhea a little bit, even though she is a heel. They do cheer her for a little bit, because she is a fantastic competitor, great in the ring, great talker, looks great. But when Don comes out, their whole dynamic is perfect right now. It's absolutely perfect. And kind of like what Vicky Guerrero and Edge when they were,
it's kind of like Steph. It's kind of like Steph too, if you think about it.
And Stephanie McMahon. I didn't think of that. Just like Stephanie McMahon when she's come out, she get booed like crazy.
Yep.
They had some heat. So then you had the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, come out. He was a little bit pissed because the week before he was on the Miz's show, and Dom kind of smacked him in the face, and then kind of ran away. Kind of what a heel's supposed to do. They run away.
Got away with one there.
Yeah, and then the poor Miz was left there to take the brunt of it. So now we come to this, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes comes in the ring, talks to Dom. And challenges Dom to a match at Money in the Bank pay-per-view. And so then, Dom is kind of sputtering around it a little bit. Rhea gets on the mic, and Rhea accepts. And then, I guess, Cody Rhodes, I think, feels the presence of the Miz behind him. I think he ducks out of the way of a boot.
Knocked him out.
Punched the Miz. Miz goes down, and Dom starts running away. Well, then he turns around, I think, again, and to get the Miz, and then Dom pushes him from behind or something and runs away. It was something like that.
Another cheap shot from Dom, pretty much what it was.
And so it was really a fantastic job by Dom, and Rhea there, and the Miz, poor Miz is there left to take the brunt again. Again.
But it just sets it up for Money in the Bank, like you said, Dom and Cody. But Cody's got to work his way up that ladder again because he losing to Roman at WrestleMania really took him down. So,
but I think he's going to work his way up pretty fast. It's going to be
definitely.
Maybe, I don't know if it's SummerSlam or maybe even a Survivor Series. I feel like SummerSlam is actually creeping up pretty close. It's usually in August, and here we are, halfway point of June already. Yeah. So I don't know if it'll be or maybe even longer. Maybe even
I think it might be longer. I'm thinking WrestleMania next year. That's right.
So that might be something where it could come something Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble or something like that again. I don't know. But anyway, that's in the distance.
That's far away.
That's in the future right now. So then you have Cody versus for the Miz to open the show after the Rhea belt, and it wasn't a bad match. It was an all right match on Monday night.
It was a good match. Sure. I mean, Miz is an A-lister. He's been around a long time. The Miz, I've always been a Miz fan. Even when he beat Cena back for WrestleMania, that was huge. But Miz is he's been with the business a long time.
He has. So, and he's done great.
He's definitely an A-lister.
And I tell you what, he's one of those guys you hate because he's a heel, but you still root for him because of like how he got there, and he's always been a wrestling fan, so he respects the business, respects the game and stuff like that, and how he first started in by like being like a sideshow, like announcer kind of guy. Then they kind of tried to push him off as a baby face. It just wasn't working. People weren't digging him, and they made him into a heel, and that's where he kind of took off because he's fantastic on the mic.
Miz is good as a heel, no doubt about it. No question.
So Miz, he always puts on a good match. Can't take that away from Miz. And Cody Rhodes is just, I've always liked Cody Rhodes, even like back when he was the one he used to look in the mirror and stuff like that. And
don't even sit there. If you say Stardust, I'll scream.
I like Stardust.
Oh no, you're not a Stardust. Oh, okay.
I like Stardust. I tell you, I thought he did a great job with the character. And I wish they would have did more with Stardust and Goldust. I feel like that was money to be made there. But
no, I'm a big Cody fan myself. I love Cody. But to me, he has to finish the story. The story's got to get. It's got to end. And I think it will end in WrestleMania next year. But that's just me. But I loved it when he came out. He came back. I'm very excited. Very excited.
So it's a pretty good match between Cody and Miz. Cody wins. Has that cast on his arm and stuff like that. And it's only a matter of time before he starts using it. Like I was watching, I'm like, I wonder if he's going to use this on the Miz at all. But I didn't really see him use the cast at all.
He used it more on Brock than he did Miz.
Yeah. Well, Brock's a beast, so you got to use it on Brock.
Sure. No doubt.
So after that, you had Becky Lynch versus Chelsea Green.
Yes.
That was a decent match. I like Becky. I like steampunk Becky when Becky first came in. When she started transitioning to the man, I still like Becky, but now like this incarnation of Becky, I'm not a huge fan of. I don't know. I feel like she's not wrestling with the type of talent that can really show her skills off. Well, I just feel like she's almost dumbing it down. I'm not saying Chelsea Green's bad or anything like that. I just feel like watching it just looks in slow motion sometimes. I'm like,
Becky has worked her way up back in the day. Becky has really had to work hard to get where she is today. She's won titles. She's won Money in the Bank. All different kinds of things for Becky. So anything Becky does, people are going to love because she's just Becky Lynch.
Yeah. And she's married to Seth Rollins and has a kid from that, all that good stuff.
But the whole 9 yards. Right. But I kind of like what they did with Becky and Trish because it was kind of like old school, new school. Yeah. I mean, not that Becky's new because she's been there a long time, but it's just like bringing Trish back wasn't the greatest of all things because I think once you're retired, you should be done. But in Trish's case, I don't think it was a bad idea. I just don't.
I think you're going to see a really good Becky when she starts getting into a program with Zoe Stark.
She'll bring her up big time.
Because she looks like she's a good worker. I haven't seen a whole lot of her yet. I don't watch NXT at all. I'm going to start watching NXT because there's a lot of good stuff that comes out of NXT. Finding the time to watch NXT because 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown. It's nearly impossible.
It's a lot of wrestling in 2 days, that's for sure.
And then if you want to catch AEW, it's like that's a lot of wrestling.
It's like 3 days in a row. That's a lot of wrestling in 3 days. Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I feel like when she starts wrestling Stark, I feel like it's going to be, the matches are going to be stepped up a bit, more intensity, more technical, and I feel like there's going to be more. It's going to look crisper. I think that's my opinion on it. It didn't feel like a smooth match, the Becky Lynch Chelsea Green match. Then you had Damian Priest versus Matt Riddle. I don't like Matt Riddle. I
love Riddle. How can you not? Oh, come on! How can a guy that wrestles barefoot? You got to give him credit for that.
That's one of the reasons why I don't like him. And here's
why.
Here's why. All right. So when the Superfly Jimmy Snuka did it, all right, he had ankle tape on. Okay. Or he had something around his ankles.
Yes, he did.
All right.
Yes.
So now Matt Riddle has nothing.
Right.
Nothing below his little skivvies. So it looks to me like the man's out there in his underwear. It bothers the hell out of me. I'm watching like Jesus Christ. Put some ankle tape on or a string below your knee, like something to break this up.
That's what makes Riddle so good, because he can do it. He wrestle barefoot. That's amazing to me.
It's fine if he does it barefoot. I could care less. Just put something else on your leg somewhere. Get a tattoo. It's all skin. Like if you do one of these, you have to do a double take because it's all skin. He's out there in his underwear wrestling. But
that is one talented wrestler, though. Come on, is that Matt Riddle?
Even that, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think he's great on the mic. He's funny.
Well,
I'll say he's funny.
I'll give you that much. He's not great on the mic, but he's a great wrestler.
But he's also a legit fighter, so it does bring some legitimacy because he used to fight UFC and stuff like that.
Well, he was in the NXT. I mean,
yeah,
for a long time.
But he was a legit combat fighter before he was a wrestler. So like that kind of gives you some legitimacy, just like a Brock Lesnar. He was a wrestler before he was a UFC fighter, but that legitimacy of being a real fighter, he could really break your arm if he wants to.
You gotta love Bro. Come on, Bro.
I don't know. I was watching something where Riddle said some stuff about Goldberg, and then Goldberg kind of bumped him in the hallway. That's like some real heat there. Goldberg kind of broke the shoulder blocked a little bit, like, oh, what's up? He's like, oh, bro, we got to talk, bro. Goldberg's like, yeah, we got to talk. Bro, later on, bro. And Goldberg's like, I'm not your bro. And then like, oh, okay, I got you, bro. I'm like, I don't know how Goldberg just didn't lose his shit. I don't know.
Were you not a fan of RK, bro? Come on.
I like Randy Orton. I'm not a fan.
Love Randy.
I'm not a fan of the Riddle thing. I'm not. That doesn't get me. I'm not a big fan of it.
The one promo that gets me with Bro that I loved, him and Randy, when they were together before Randy got injured. Randy says, this was the best. He goes, this is the most fun I've had in 20 years. So to me, that was just like great. To hear Randy say that, he's like, I'm having the most fun I've had. And being with Bro at the time, I thought it was, those two were, they were fun.
I don't know. They were good together. They did play well off of each other.
They did.
I don't like the Bro.
To each his own. I got you.
Put some socks on, and I'll put some ankle tape on. I've watched wrestling my whole life. And I've seen guys in the tights and stuff like that. And when Jimmy Snuka did it, he wore tights, but he had ankle tape on or something around his ankles, kind of broke it up a little bit. But
come on, say it with me, Bro.
Bro. All right. So Damian Priest wins that. He now qualifies for the Money in the Bank match, and I think that makes the men's side, I think, complete. I don't know.
I believe it does. Yes,
I think that completed, or I don't think there was any matches on SmackDown. So after that, we had Ricochet versus Bronson Reed.
Yeah, they're pushing Bronson Reed a lot. Which I like. I like that because Bronson Reed's a big dude, and he's not the greatest wrestler, but he is good. I mean, he's got a lot of potential. Well, Bronson Reed reminds me a lot of a Mark Henry a little bit. Their build. Mark Henry was super athletic. Bronson Reed seems to be super athletic. Bronson Reed, I think, might be better on the mic than what Mark Henry was. I think Mark Henry got much better later in his career. For a big man, Bronson Reed can go off the top rope. Mark Henry never could do that. So
I can't think of Mark Henry going to the top rope. That's more of like a Vader. I love Vader.
Right.
That was more of like a big Van Vader. Vader time.
Yes. Oh, God.
So yeah, but Ricochet versus Bronson Reed, that's a pretty good match. Seeing a super athletic, acrobatic type wrestler wrestle a big guy and have it actually look good and go smooth. I thought that was great. So you have that match, and then Shinsuke Nakamura comes out. So the week before, it was Shinsuke versus Bronson Reed, I think it was. Was that what it was? And
I believe that's what.
And then Ricochet, saved Nakamura from what the hell was it? I can't remember.
Ricochet. Yeah. You're right. You're on it. Right.
But there's a whole thing there. So Ricochet Nakamura comes out, kind of looking for a little bit of retribution against Bronson Reed once the match is over, because Ricochet and Shinsuke, they go back a long time, back to the New Japan New Japan days.
Yeah,
a lot of great matches between them. I remember watching a couple online, a couple of those matches, replays and stuff. And so those guys had some wars. So there's a lot of mutual respect there. So Shinsuke is sitting at the announcers table. Bronson Reed throws Ricochet into Shinsuke, and then that kind of the hard.
Bronson gets the win on DQ. I mean, come on.
And so Bronson Reed gets the win. Shinsuke comes in, starts going after Bronson Reed. They get Bronson Reed on the top rope, and Shinsuke and Ricochet do a superplex off the top rope with Bronson Reed. That was fantastic.
Loved it. Well, they've been doing that a lot though lately with those big guys. It's just amazing to me those big guys can take that suplex off the top, because I mean, I'll tell you, for those guys, that's a lot. That's a lot of weight coming down.
That's a big back coming down. It's a lot of weight coming down, and it's to watch that ring bounce the way it does. Like, it's not the same like with Rey Mysterio coming off of it.
No,
it's something like Bronson Reed coming down on that. That's a lot of weight. That's a lot of a lot of impact.
But like I said, Bronson's an athlete, man. For as big as he is, he's a big guy. I mean, but he can move.
So now that sets up a Shinsuke Bronson Reed match. Next Monday,
next week,
Monday,
right. Yeah. So it'll probably be the same situation, I'm sure.
It's absolutely going to continue. Ricochet's going to interfere,
right?
And I think eventually either it's going to lead to a 3-way match, or it's going to be I think eventually I think the end game out of this is going to be Ricochet versus Nakamura.
Yeah,
I think the end game after all this is said and done, I think they're going to end up into a little bit of a.
It could be a triple threat too.
Program.
If they want to do that.
I think it's going to go triple threat eventually. It's going to have to be probably before. Well, maybe it could do the following week. Money in the Bank, because
they'll keep it going. They'll keep it going until Money in the Bank, I'm sure.
Unless they figure out a way to get Bronson Reed into Money in the Bank, because those spots are taken and Bronson Reed's not in.
Well, he actually qualified for it. He lost. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, so he's not in. So, but you have Nakamura in, and you have Ricochet in. So, is it going to be some sort of stipulation in a 3-way? Like, whoever loses, whoever gets pinned, is out of Money in the Bag, or something like that. Maybe they throw a stipulation there. I don't know.
Possibly. Yeah, anything can happen. So never know.
Yeah. So it's
it's all good.
So then after that, you had Finn Balor. Which I thought was a huge thing. Finn Balor calls out Seth freaking Rollins. He calls him out and he challenges Seth for his belt. What do you think? Finn has had so much bad luck over the years. I mean, he should be champion, because he technically lost it when he got injured. Yep.
Because he was your first original WWE champion.
Universal champion. Yep.
Yes, and he got injured, and Finn has had a bad deal ever since then. Do I see him beating Seth at Running the Bank? No. But do I see him leaving the Judgment Day? Possibility. I'll leave it at that.
I don't see him leaving Judgment Day. I see him getting kicked out of Judgment Day. I feel like there's going to be something there. I feel like they're going to turn on him. And I feel like they're going to kick him out of Judgment Day somehow, and there will be a Damian Priest, Finn Balor thing going on. I think that's in the future. So the whole thing that they're playing this off of Seth freaking Rollins and Finn Balor is, when Finn won the Universal title, it was him and Seth freaking Rollins,
right?
And that's how he got hurt. And so the week before, Seth Rollins and Damian Priest. Damian Priest
Priest.
said, "Nobody help. I'm on my own on this."
Mm-hmm.
Well, that move that he hurt Finn Balor with, he did to Damian Priest, and Damian Priest is holding his arm. Well, he tosses Damian Priest back in the ring. Well, who comes out of the crowd but Finn Balor? And he, for his appearance, he gets a super kick to the face from Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah.
But anyway, so then that leads to Damian Priest kind of eyeballing, like, what are you doing, man? And then Damian Priest gets rolled up and pinned. So that you see the tension already building there. But now with Finn Balor, I'm a big Finn Balor fan. I love Finn Balor. I think he's fantastic. As a heel,
I know a lot of Finn Balor fans. I really do.
Seth is calling out. He wants the best of Finn Balor. So does that mean we get the demon Finn Balor? Is he going to paint himself up again? I don't know.
I don't think he was going there though, was he?
He said he wants his best. And when you think of Finn Balor,
he said which Finn Balor is going to show up.
Yeah. Well, so the best.
But was he talking demon when he said it? That's my question.
I thought he was. In my opinion, I feel like he's thinking demon. I don't remember. Was he demon Finn Balor for that match the first time?
I don't think so. No, I don't believe he was. No.
So maybe it's not. But that was my first thought was, is he calling out the demon Finn Balor? Because I always felt like that's when Finn Balor was at his absolute best. His most aggressive is when he was the demon Finn Balor. But I could be way off, and I could be wrong.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking demon Finn Balor. I was just thinking like the other Finn Balor that was Universal that became Universal Champion. And that's what I was thinking too. Like that wasn't the demon didn't. I don't know.
It takes a lot of time to put that makeup on. That's a lot of makeup.
It does.
It's head to body. I mean, that's a lot. It's not the Ultimate Warrior makeup here.
No doubt.
We're talking a lot of makeup.
I just don't see Seth losing Money in the Bank because he just won it. Why would they put it on Finn so early? I
don't think he loses it either.
No.
But I'm hoping he does lose it. I like Seth Rollins. I like the push he's gotten.
Finn might win the match, but I don't think he'll win the belt.
I don't think if he doesn't win the belt, he's not winning the match. It's going to be
That's true. Good point.
Well, you know what? Now that you put that out there, I don't know if something were to happen where, let's say, Damian Priest comes out there and interferes to help.
Right,
Finn
that's
Balor.
what I'm thinking. Right, and he screws Finn. You know what I'm saying?
That could very. I could see that now. Because Finn Balor wins by disqualification.
Right, exactly.
Change hands. But now you have that rift deepens between the judgment
and then Finn gets pissed, gets upset with Priest, saying you cost me the match.
I could absolutely see that now. I like that.
Specify. I mean, it could happen. I don't know.
All right, we're gonna catch up on comments here. So we got Eileen says, "Better not have Asuka lose to Charlotte already."
Eileen, go back to that comment real quick. Charlotte doesn't wait in line for anybody, Eileen. So you know what? It would not surprise me a bit if the Queen won that match. I'm just saying.
Woo!
She is the Queen for a reason. But go ahead, keep moving on.
Adam Glenn says Dom is a great heel.
Dom is a great heel. Yeah.
Eileen says I watch Mrs. On USA Network. My wife also watches Mrs. and Mrs. and it still baffles me how Miz ended up with Maurice. That doesn't make sense to me.
I don't understand that either. I watched it a few times. I was never a big fan of it, but if you love it, go with it.
I don't watch it. Like I said, my wife watches it. It'll be on sometimes. I'll check it out for a couple minutes.
Some shows weren't bad. I would watch a little bit. I never got really into it though. We got Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at OOTBoxSports and the Atomic Drop OOTBE for tweets and info. Check us out.
Adam Glenn giving us a Phillies update. Adam, who cares? The Mets
Phillies won.
The Mets won, Adam. We don't care about the stinking Phillies. To hell with them.
Phillies won. Good for them. Good for them.
The Phillies.
Hey, we got Phillies fans here too.
They can suck it.
They're hot.
Rob Hefner wants to know, what do we think of WWE being bought by UFC?
That's a great question, Rob.
That is a good question.
Yeah, it is. It really is. They did what they had to do. I'll just leave it at that. They did what they had to do.
I was hoping that somehow I heard rumors of The Rock maybe buying it. I was kind of hoping a little bit that he would buy it.
I don't think Rock would do that.
There are rumors. That's stuff that I just seen on the interwebs.
Yeah, that's true.
That was one that really interested me. Then there was also rumors of Tony Khan or whatever, or somebody, one of the Khan family. But like, I don't know. They have AEW and
no, they wouldn't go that route.
But the UFC route kind of surprised me a little bit. I'm
sure Vince had something like, I don't know. Maybe that's the route they wanted to go. I don't know.
It also surprised me that Vince was brought back. After all those sexual assault allegations.
Yeah, right. His say isn't as big as it was before. It's not as big because Triple H is still running the show, which I really like about it because that's why people are still tuning in because Triple H is running it. So.
I feel like Triple H has done a really, really good job pushing the right talent at the right time.
I'll tell you, Hunter's been great. I can't. He's keeping WWE alive is what he's doing.
Eileen says, bro.
See? There you go. Eileen, step it up. Tell him, Eileen. Bro.
Maiko, that's my favorite. Where Stone Cold and Cena wrestling in Jesus. Yeah, the jorts. John Cena wearing his jorts and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. There's no question that man wasn't wrestling in his skivvies there. John Cena was jorting it.
You said earlier in the show you were a big John Cena fan. Yeah. And I was too. I still am. I always will be. But I respect him the most because when he walked into that ECW arena, I will never forget that.
Yeah.
And he got booed out of the building that night.
And so the ECW arena, everybody's on top of you too. It's so small that
there were signs saying if Cena wins, we riot. Oh my gosh, and that was against your boy RVD. That was against your boy RVD.
That was a hot crowd. There were great matches that night. That was a fantastic pay-per-view.
Yep, that was great. And RVD ended up winning. If RVD didn't win, that place would have erupted.
Eileen says sexual chocolate could not go on the top rope.
That is correct. Sexual chocolate did not go on the top rope. No, he couldn't.
Back when Mark was sexual chocolate, when we used to go bowling, back before we had kids, we used to do bowling probably like once a week almost.
Right.
We'd go out with a couple friends, me and my wife, and I'd always grab the one ball and I'd call it sexual chocolate. So.
I like sexual chocolate. Actually, that was a good role for him.
It was a good gimmick for him. Kind of brought him out of his shell a little bit, and showed you a different side of Mark Henry.
Priest, there you go, Adam Glenn.
Not a bad
Priest has got to win Money in the Bank.
Maiko Spencer says Nakamura's entry is iconic. I love it.
Sure.
The first time Nakamura was introduced to the WWE, I'll never forget it. Like they brought I don't know, the violinist, if that's who it was, came out there and started playing the whole song, and the people were going nuts, and they brought Nakamura out. That's one of the greatest introductions to a wrestler, I think, in my opinion, that I've ever seen. Well, that I've seen since the Chris Jericho, Save Us, Y2J thing that when he first came to WWE.
Yes.
Like that whole Nakamura when he first came to WWE. They came out there and they had that just the violinist came out on it just by himself. The place is dead silent, all black, spotlight on him. He starts playing that. Right now I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it because it was just so awesome. It was just fantastic.
Nakamura's that guy, man. He's good. He's really good. They can use him at any time. That's what's great about Nakamura. He's just that guy.
The king of the strong style, man. And, a lot of people I talk to that somewhat watch wrestling, they have a problem with Nakamura being king of the strong style. Like, well, he's so little and stuff like that. Like they're thinking of like old wrestling, like where everybody was on super steroids and stuff like that. This is the new age of wrestling. This is where it's like the everyday person. Like guys, they still have great bodies. They still have the muscles and stuff like that. But not like where it used to be, where your guys had to be 6'6" and 300 pounds with huge biceps.
Well, that's what Vince likes, big guys. That's just his gimmick. He's always been a big guy.
What sold back in the day when we were kids. That's what sold.
Back in the day it was. But then you had like your Shawn Michaels, your Bret Harts, your Eddie Guerrero's. There's champions. Vince gave them, leeway too. But Vince was always big, dude. Hogan, Big John Studd, Andre the Giant, all those guys.
So Eileen says Bronson Reed is not in Money in the Bank match, right?
No, he's not. No.
And Eileen says Ricochet, Shinsuke, LA Knight, Santos Escobar from the LWO,
Butch
and Damian Priest. So that's going to be a hell of a matchup. There's some guys that, like Ricochet, he's going to do some wild shit. He is.
Oh, no doubt.
Santos Escobar, he's fantastic. He's a mover. Shinsuke, he doesn't get me as the high flying type, but he's got to do some crazy stuff. Those Japanese people, they do some crazy stuff.
There is a guy in there that I'm picking to win Money in the Bank, but I think we'll save that for the next show.
I'm gonna go like this right
That's the guy. That's the guy. Yeah,
LA Knight.
Yes.
We'll talk even more about it. We'll talk a little bit about it tonight, but even more about it next week. As it gets a little bit closer. But yeah, I think LA Knight. He's looking badass. They're pushing him, and I feel like he has a hell of a shot here.
LA Knight. He's good. I'm an LA Knight guy. I just am. I'm a fan.
Eileen says that's just weak. I'm not sure what she means.
That's just weak. Maybe weak in the match. Maybe she means.
Maybe, I don't know. Eileen says they could do what they did last year when they threw Austin Theory in the match last second.
Yeah,
so maybe that's just weak about getting Bronson Reed in there. Yeah, that very well could be. All of a sudden somebody gets jumped in the back,
or injury could happen, and they throw somebody in there. They've done that before.
Yeah. So you never know, but I still don't think. I feel like one of those guys are going to be. Two of those three guys are going to be in. Like right now, it's Shinsuke and Ricochet. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's going to be a turn, a change somewhere.
There might be, there might not be. It depends. Actually, I did hear somebody just signed with WWE not few days ago or a day ago. You know who that was? He just signed. No. He likes apples.
Carlito.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Carlito just signed with WWE. He did. Yep.
Is he gonna be one of those guys that rush out to the
Could be. I mean, I don't know, but I heard he signed a contract, so I heard he's definitely in. So we'll see what happens.
When there'd be like two wrestlers going at each other and bring everybody down to try to hold them apart. Carlito's out there with an apple in his mouth and the big hair and everything.
I am a big Carlito fan. I love it. Oh, big Carlito. Great Intercontinental Champion. Great.
We used to spit apples in each other's face when I was a kid. We used to mess around and pretend we were wrestlers and stuff. We'd take a bite and spit it at each other. I'm sorry, I skipped over that one. Eileen says, I don't think Balor wins because they will set up drama with Damian Priest and Judgment Day. I'm not seeing Finn win this. I mean, much I'm all the Finn fans out there, and I know you love Finn, and I get all that. You're a Finn fan, but I just don't think I don't think that's going to be his night. But I think his time is coming, though. I really do. I'm with Maiko on this. I remember Miz from the first season of MTV's The Real World.
Real World
that also.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's where you are. Miz talked about wrestling, being a wrestling fan and stuff like that. And Maiko says, "Damn, I wonder how much. Maybe the millions and millions of out of the box sports viewers and hosts we can see make an offer on the WWE. Yeah, we're not going to have enough.
I don't think so."
but yeah, now it's owned by the people that own UFC. I can't think of who the hell it is, like WorldCom or something. I don't know.
I have no idea. Couldn't tell you. No.
So Raw, we still have we had Raquel Rodriguez versus Shayna Baszler. Raquel Rodriguez, she was tagging with Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan
got hurt. I really like Raquel Rodriguez. I think she's fantastic. I think she's going to be really, really big.
Up and coming, this girl. No doubt.
She can wrestle. I'm not a big fan of Shayna. I think she's just riding Ronda's coattails.
Shayna's day was back a year and a half ago. That was her big break. Her with Ronda, I kind of like it, but I kind of don't at the same time because I'm not much of a Ronda fan. I'm just not.
I think Ronda's all right. I mean, I like more of a name than anything.
That's right. She's a name. Correct.
But yeah, so Shayna won that match with a little bit of help from Ronda. Ronda kind of Shayna rolled up.
Ronda used her foot. Used her foot to win, right?
Put her foot on Raquel's ass to keep her down.
Yep.
So then we move on from that, and we have the Alpha Academy.
But wait a minute, that sets it up for Ronda and Shayna to go against the NXT champs. They're going to have a tag team title match, winner take all, which I kind of like. Yes.
And what's their name again?
I can't think of the top of my head, but it'll come to me.
They look really, really good.
They're very good. They're a good tag team, no doubt. They're very good NXT tag champs. Yep.
They're probably not going to win, but I'll tell you.
I don't know. They might steal one. They you never know.
I don't know. I will have to wait and see. So then we had Alpha Academy's Chad Gable versus Eric from the Viking Raiders. So you also had Otis out there.
No, it's Otis.
Otis.
Right.
And Maxine was out there. Maxine was out there in her singlet and stuff like that. And you knew an armbar was going to come up sooner or later. So you have Valhalla come over and
I didn't see it coming. It came out of nowhere though. Valhalla came around, like Dave,
you had seen that because they focused.
I kind of did. I did, but I was kind of.
She's there looking like with those crazy ass eyes. And then they pulled away, and then Valhalla comes running around and stuff like that, and she gets that arm drag, that hip toss or whatever. And Otis is going nuts.
It was actually a good hip toss. I'll give her credit for it. She did. She got it over.
So Gable ends up pinning Eric, through all the commotion and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Shushton, thank you.
Hey, gotta love the Alpha Academy.
So I was kind of I thought that the Viking Raiders would get more of a push than they actually have so far, but it is what it is.
Well, Viking Raiders, they keep getting pushes all the time, but they're not giving them anything.
Yeah,
I mean, every time you turn around, Viking Raiders are getting a tag match, a big tag matches, and I mean, they win some, they lose some, but they would never got any title pushes or anything.
And that's what I'm waiting for, because I feel like they got a decent look. I mean, they're not bad in the ring.
No, they're not. They're not bad. No, not at all.
But so then we move on to the main event of Monday Night Raw: KO and Sami Zayn versus Kaiser and Gunther. And I'll tell you, Gunther is badass.
Is he a badass? I'll tell you, when he first won the Intercontinental title, I didn't think it would last this long. Did you?
No, absolutely not. Like he's unbeatable, and I'd say he's very, very good.
He's amazing. He's amazing.
Yeah, he lost a good bit of weight. I don't know if you've seen pictures of him before he got this run, but he was a bit chubbier and he lost a good bit of weight, and
he just got married. He just got married a few months ago or a month and a half ago.
Well, with a mug like that, who wouldn't want to marry him?
I saw the pictures at they at the reception. He was dancing with his wife. So,
he was dancing.
Yeah, Big Gunther was on dance floor doing his thing. Yeah.
So a really, really good match actually.
Very.
Between KO, Sammy against Gunther and the Kaiser. So the way it broke down at the end there, Sammy got the hot tag in. I think Gunther was already in, or did he get the hot tag in?
I think Gunther got the hot. Yeah, right. But
so they're going at each other, and then
Sammy got the pin though. I know that much.
And so Gunther, he had the leg up. He was in control. I think it was Gunther. But then you have your boy Riddle. Riddle comes down.
Riddle came in. Yep.
For the distraction. So he gets down the ramp. Gunther's out there on the outside.
He got hammered by Gunther. Took him out easy.
I'll tell you what. That was one thing. I died when I first sat. I actually watched this when I was on vacation.
You were loving it. I know. Go ahead.
I'm watching like there's Matt Riddle. I'm like, oh, here's this freaking jerk off again. and so Matt Riddle comes down. He makes his way down. He puts on a little spin move on the security guards. The poor security guards out there making $15 an hour. Puts a spin move on him, and then he gets clobbered by Gunther. He goes down on his back. Put some socks on, or something, and. Then KO attacks Gunther, and they're going at it. So that's when Sammy's able to get the leg up on
Ludwig.
Yep, on
Kaiser. Yep.
And so Sammy and KO they come out with the win. So it was a really good match. I'll tell you, I didn't see them losing, so it wasn't a surprise. But
Sammy and KO are killing it. Ever since they won at WrestleMania, they have been absolutely awesome.
Those are a couple guys that have known each other for such a long time.
Oh my God, they've been wrestling together for years, and they're best friends. They know each other back and forth. They know each other, which is great because Sammy and Kevin they do sell. There's no doubt about it. I mean,
well, and so like before Sammy and Kevin came to WWE, I used to listen to Stone Cold's podcast where I used to work. I used to listen to it all the time. Stone Cold's podcast and Rowdy Piper's podcast. I'd always listen to it. Back when Rowdy Piper was with us, obviously.
R.I.P. Rowdy. Yeah.
And so they, Stone Cold had Kevin Steen, who's now Kevin Owens, Steen, and I think Sammy's name was El Generico. I could be wrong with that.
Okay.
But he had them both on because they're really super tight, best friends in the business together, same wrestling promotions, traveling around, and just talking with them. Big things are coming up soon for us and stuff like that. They didn't. If I remember correctly, they didn't specifically talk about signing with WWE, but it was a couple weeks later they were with WWE on TV. So with NXT, then you could start hearing rumblings about him and stuff like that. And then KO came up and did the pop-up powerbomb to John Cena.
Yep.
That was his introduction.
That was his intro.
In the WWE universe. So they're killing it right now. Those guys.
They really are. They're killing the tag team titles. I love the fact that they're champs. I hope they don't lose anytime soon because the fans are loving it, and they love Sammy. Sammy's a big draw. They just
absolutely
love him wherever he goes. But he's bigger than Kevin right now. I mean, seriously, But those two together, great tag.
All right, so before we jump into SmackDown, we're gonna do another sponsor read. We're gonna do Jason Fine. You got this one, brother?
I think so. Yeah. If you're having you need to see an attorney or check somebody out, check out AKA Big Al Jason Fine Law at 1-800-HURT-123. If you're having legal problems and you have anything you want to call, like I said, call Mr. Jason Fine at 1-800-123. He has 3 offices, one in Philadelphia, one in Cherry Hill, and one in Pittsburgh. And if you want to call the Pittsburgh area, you can call it at, I think it's 412-365-8851, if I'm not mistaken on that.
8151.
8151. I'm sorry. I can't really see it too well. I got
you, brother. We're a tag team here.
Right. I went to Cherry Hill office at 3 Greenwood Lane. Cherry Hill office is 856-209-5258. And in the Philadelphia office, you can check him out. If you want to call that, it's 267-888-2980. Once again, it's Big J, Jason Law, 123. Call 1-800-123 or Hurt 123. I'm sorry, 1-800-123.
Yep, that's 1-800-HURT-123. Jason Fine. Big Al. Tell him the Atomic Drop podcast sent you.
Thanks for saving me there, bro.
Hey, we're a tag team, man. I'm holding the here on the outside.
Appreciate it. Carry my load there.
All right, so we're going to jump into SmackDown here. We've been on for a while already.
We've been on for a while. Yes, we have.
SmackDown. I'm starting to sweat. I'm out of drink here.
I'm soaking wet here.
I'll tell you what. With SmackDown, there we go. Changing the blue. I love it.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely.
So the way SmackDown started off today, I absolutely loved it. The gauntlet match with the tag teams, was there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tag teams?
1, 2, 3, 6 tag teams. Yes.
Yep, 6 tag teams. They started off the show. It was a gauntlet match, so it started off with two teams, and whoever won, they kept fighting. But you didn't know who was coming in next until they played the music. Right. So I'll tell you what, it was absolutely fantastic. So it started off with the Street Profits and the Brawling Brutes. And the Brawling Brutes, Sheamus and Holland. I'm a huge Sheamus fan. I love Sheamus.
I like the Profits. I'm a big Profit guy. I was very upset they got retired early in the match. But go ahead. But
I want to tell you what, they put on a decent fight, a decent show. So the Brawling Brutes came out. They're able to top the Street Profits. And my thought was, all right, the Brawling Brutes will probably go out next, because it's hard to see a team just keep winning like that. So it came out.
Not with Sheamus. Sheamus is big. They're going to keep him around for a while.
And Sheamus, he's a veteran. He's been in some huge matches. A multi-time champion.
Yep.
I think he's been a tag team champion. I'm not sure if he was Intercontinental champion at all.
I don't think he was, but he was heavyweight champion. That's for sure.
He was definitely a heavyweight champion a couple times. Yep. So then the Good Brothers, they're called in. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows.
The OC.
The OC, the original club.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Is the original club or is the? Yeah, it's the original.
It's the original club. Yep.
They were the Bullet Club in New Japan.
They were the Bullet Club. Yes.
Then they're just the club.
The club. Now they're the OC. Yep.
So the Good Brothers versus the Brawling Brutes. Well, again, the Brawling Brutes came out on top, which kind of surprised me a little bit.
Yep.
But like you said, Sheamus is a big name still.
It wouldn't be a match if Sheamus did hit the guy in the chest 60 times. I mean, come on.
Well, so that's coming up later on.
Right.
So then the LWO, the Latino World Order, come in. with Escobar and Vega.
Yep.
And the Brawling Brutes take care of business there again. Now this time Sheamus's flat top is gone.
So,
he's all
basically they're 3-0 in this match right now. So what you're saying?
So they're 3-0. Surprisingly, I'm like, man, I'm really surprised. Maybe they can do this. I'm looking at the guys that are left. You have Hit Row and you have
Hit Row did what? They were like 5 seconds in the match, if that.
The Hit Row was in and out. I mean, I don't even think the music stopped playing. They got I think it was a.
It was like watching Santino Marella. Watching Santino Marella at a Royal Rumble. That's how fast that was.
I wasn't ready yet. So then you have Hit Row and Pretty Deadly left.
I'll go over that, but go ahead.
So I'm like, there ain't no way that the Brawling Brutes can lose to Hit Row or Pretty Deadly. There ain't no way. So they come out there, they end Hit Row in a couple seconds. They go to commercial break. I'm like, oh man, that's perfect. Commercial break. They're going to be rested up. We're going to have the Brawling Brutes against these guys that are wearing half shirts. They're wearing crop tops, belly shirts. They can't beat the Brawling Brutes, can they?
Yes, I don't know. Can they? You tell me.
Well, after 60 chest forearms to the chest, like you said, I feel bad for those guys because those. I'll tell you what, that's one of those moves that you watch, just like a chop to the chest, like that Gunther does. You see the red marks on their chest. That forearm thing that Sheamus does in the ropes, that is lethal. That is brutal. I mean, just seeing those slaps to the chest,
I've seen him do that to guys, and guys' chests are so red. It's insane.
It's one of those things like it hurts. It's one of those things like, how much money am I making? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
They stay there and take it, so it's worth it.
Yep.
So it comes out that Pretty Deadly upsets the Brawling Brutes. They're able to come out with the win, shock the shit out of me. I couldn't believe it.
Pretty Deadly is actually a good tag team, and I like them a lot. But who do they remind you of?
A couple of ladies.
No, come on now. We were talking about them earlier. Who does Pretty Deadly remind you of?
Well, not the Beverly Brothers, right?
Nope.
Rick Martel and whoever he was.
Nope. It's Sean and Marty, dude. It's Sean. Yeah, it's the Rockers Part 2 is what it is.
The Rockers were cool, man.
I get it, but these guys are cool too. I mean,
these guys are cool.
Yeah, but you got the blonde hair and the brown guy. It's Sean and Marty back in the day.
The first time I seen him, like, that lady doesn't have a top on. I'm like, wait a second, that's not a lady.
Okay. That's who I think they remind me of. I could be wrong.
I'll tell you what,
it's the Rockers Part 2. It's got to be the Rockers Part 2.
The Rockers Part anything. The Rockers Part 2.
Hey, that's what I see. Go ahead. Hey.
But yeah, so
you can't sit there and tell me you don't see Marty and Sean in those two.
I do not see Marty and Sean anywhere near that. Not all right. So sorry. Hang on. Definitely not Marty. But if you want to say like Shawn Michaels, just a sexy boy Shawn Michaels after the Rockers, where he'd come out with the leather and kind of like the hair was done up, and the little red sunglasses and
I got you.
Maybe a little bit then.
Okay.
Bit, but no way.
All right.
I see double hockey sticks. Do I see the Rockers?
Okay,
hair.
Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I see. But go ahead.
All right, here we go. I gotta show you this one. It says, "Well, Dave is a Cowboy fan, so hello Zeke with the crop top."
I hear you.
So we got Zeke, a part of the Pretty Deadly now.
Yeah, put Zeke in Pretty Deadly. That'll work.
Zeke will be the.
Zeke can be the manager.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Zeke could be the manager. He'd be like the Mr. Fuji.
There you go, Zeke. We got a job for you. Get Pretty Deadly's manager.
So then you have after that, a terrific opening to SmackDown again. Pretty Deadly came out on top. They win the championship bout against KO and Sami Zayn.
They get their title shot.
They come down. They have a little back and forth with them. Kind of make fun of them a little bit.
Right.
And all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see them wrestle each other, I believe, Monday Night Raw, I think, right?
I think it's at the pay-per-view.
SmackDown? Is that pay-per-view?
No, I think it's at the Money in the Bank. Yep.
Okay, I'm not sure.
I think it was. I think that's what I saw. Because that gauntlet match tonight was whoever won that match gets Money in the Bank, gets Sammy and Kevin and Money in the Bank. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I could be wrong, but that's what I thought it was.
I thought it was on one of the shows. I thought it was
maybe it is. I don't think so, but go ahead.
You challenging me, Dave? Is this what we're doing here?
I'm not challenging anybody. I'm just saying that's what I thought That's what I thought it was.
So the next match we had on the card was Io Sky from Damage Control against Zelina Vega.
Yes.
It was a decent matchup. You had Bailey kind of distract Io Sky, and she ends up losing to Zelina Vega. So is there a little bit of issues with Damage Control there? I love Bailey. I love me some Bailey.
I would like to think not, but I think you're getting onto something there. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like because then later on in the show, who was it? Oh crap, I can't think of her name. She came in and she challenged Bailey for her spot in
Io Sky. Right. Io Sky said
that Bailey accepts, and Bailey's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" He's like, "I'm just trying to help."
Right.
But I remember who it was that challenged Becky, or not Becky, Bailey, who challenged Bailey. I can't remember who it was.
It was good question.
I can't remember. What Bailey? Bailey, I think beat her, or no? Bailey cost her a spot. Whoever it was, Bailey cost her a spot in Money in the Bank. I can't think of.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
God damn it, that pisses me off now.
No, go ahead. We're good.
So that was a pretty good match. And then you have Charlotte, your queen.
Was it Zoe Stark? Was it Zoe Stark?
No, it wasn't Zoe Stark. No.
Okay, my fault. Go ahead.
Charlotte came out. She was on the Grayson Waller Effect, the show that they do. Like a Piper's Pit, but not Piper's Pit. There's only one Piper's Pit.
No, yes, only one Piper's Pit.
So Charlotte comes out, as a guest on the Grayson Waller Effect, and Bianca Belair is pissed off, and she has every right to be pissed off. I'll tell you what.
Absolutely, she does.
It's always the champion always gets
usually a rematch.
It always gets the rematch. They have the rematch clause. They get the rematch when they want it, and here Charlotte Flair comes on and just she demands it. And,
but she's the queen, which she should demand it. She's the queen. She gets what she wants. She doesn't have to stand in line.
So that's exactly what you said at the beginning of the show. She's the queen. She does not have to get in line for anybody.
Exactly.
And you're not that far off. And Maiko helped us out there. Thank you, Maiko.
Oh, Shotzi. That's who it was. Shotzi. Right.
Okay. Thank you, Maiko, for the assist there.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
He's our manager in the back there. Our classy Freddie Blassie.
Yeah, that's our Mr. Fuji.
No, I'm not going to say it because it's not politically correct. Oh.
Yes, it was Shotzi. That is correct. But going back to Charlotte and Bianca, Bianca to me had a great run. She did, and I know she wants her title back.
Champion, I think, right?
And she is. So there's no doubt about it. But yet, Charlotte 14 times. So to me,
loser.
True. But she's the queen.
She is the queen.
The queen gets what she wants. Call me Mr.
I tell you, but Bianca Belair did have one hell of a run.
Oh, she did, no doubt.
And for her to lose to Asuka, who's fantastic in her own right. I love Asuka.
I think that was the surprise. That was the surprise at Mania. I don't think people saw that coming.
No, and you're right, because Bianca's had it for so long.
Right.
And Asuka, she's been up and down on the card. Like, one day she's a main eventer, and the next day she's a mid carder. You just don't know.
You don't.
But for Bianca, I feel like that could lead to another fatal.
Now, can Bianca get her title back? Yes, she can.
Yeah.
But will they give it to her? I don't know. I kind of like what we're doing there with Asuka, because Asuka's a wild card to me. You just don't know with her anymore. You just don't know what she's going to do.
And so it's one of those. I guess she's just a placeholder right now for somebody else, Asuka, or is she going to have a lengthy run like Bianca did? I don't know. Either way, I know that
it's up in the air. It really is, because you don't know with Asuka. I don't know.
Every time that Asuka has wrestled Charlotte, it's been insane. It's been main event worthy. It's been terrific.
They know each other pretty well. That's for sure.
So either way, you're going to get a great match with Asuka and Charlotte.
They might. Now, wait a minute. Now, wait a minute, Mr. Ken over there. They might add a triple threat and put Bianca in that match.
Well, and then that's why I just said a second ago. I was kind of stumbling through it. I said
Right.
a fatal three-way, but a triple threat is what I meant.
Right.
So I could have, because I think it's a SmackDown match, the Asuka Charlotte championship match, and
Yes.
you know Bianca's going to interfere somehow, or there's going to be something kind of like with Ricochet being thrown in the Shinsuke recently on Raw. Something's going to happen where somebody's going to get tossed into Bianca, and she's going to get pissed off, and she's going to go up there in her high heels and her long hair and start whooping ass, and so it's something like that's going to happen. It's going to end up in a fatal three-way or three-way match.
Something's going to.
Yeah, a menage a trois if it were.
No. Well, I don't think they'll give it to Charlotte this early because Asuka just won it. But Charlotte's going to get it. She's going to get it back eventually. Eventually, she will.
Eventually, but it wouldn't surprise me. I'll tell you.
It wouldn't surprise me either if they gave it to Charlotte, but I just don't think they're going to let Asuka go that quickly. She just got it. She just won it.
So comments here real quick. Maiko says Alba Fry and Isla Dawn.
Yes, that's the tag team. That's the NXT champions. Yes, correct. Alba Frie. Yes. Yep.
I see Free. I see Fry. Adam Glenn says, bro.
The
Good Brothers should have won.
The Good Brothers should have won.
The gauntlet match. I love gauntlet matches. I think they should have more gauntlet matches. Every week there should be a gauntlet match for something. Eileen says, oh my God, whoever is dressing them in half shirts needs to be fired. they probably got a raise.
She's talking about Pretty Deadly, yes.
Yeah, they probably got a raise because it's they're going to get so much heat. Like
they're pretty deadly.
I think it's unbelievable.
I love it.
Like I said, I did a double take the first time I seen him. The first time I seen him actually was last week.
Right.
I was watching it. I'm like, what the hell is that? Why isn't she wearing a shirt? I'm like, that's a dude.
That's a dude.
What's going on? So Eileen says it's like they're wanting them to be Fandango and Tyler Breeze.
You know what, Eileen? That is so right. I didn't even think about that. Fandango. Yeah, that is true. Good point.
I'll tell you, that was one of the greatest WrestleMania upsets, if there ever was one, was the Fandango over Chris Jericho.
Over Jericho. Yep.
That was insane.
Jericho actually talked about that match too. Yeah. He's talked about that many times. Yeah.
Maiko says, well, Dave Izzik. Okay, we did that one already. Shotzi. Call him Mr. Fuji.
Mr. Fuji.
Eileen says, no Charlotte.
No Charlotte. Okay, I hear you.
Adam Glenn, I'm surprised old man Spencer is still awake.
So are we.
Adam Glenn calling him out. The man doesn't sleep. That's the problem. Eileen says it was pretty pointless to have Bianca lose it to Asuka just so she can lose to Flair at Money in the Bank. I agree. I think they're setting up something more long term between those three ladies. Actually, I think it's going to be. It's got to be
the triple threat's coming between those three. I
can see this ending in SummerSlam. I can see.
But I don't. That I can see, but I just don't see Asuka losing it this early.
No, I agree, but you've seen weirder things. You know what I mean?
This is true.
Maiko says Asuka and Io Sky should be tag team champs.
They would be good together. They really would. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, I kind of like the Kabuki Warriors too. I'm a fan of them. I was a fan of them.
Eileen says, I fully expect Charlotte to win it at Money in the Bank. I don't think she is. I think something.
Eileen, okay, let's put it this way, Eileen. I wouldn't be surprised if she did win it Money in the Bank. I just don't think they'll do it this early. I don't see that coming. But if Charlotte wins, I'm all for it.
Maiko says, I'm still young, Adam, 52. Still not discount worthy. I tried. He doesn't have his AARP card yet, Adam.
Not quite, Adam, but he's getting there.
All right. So after we had the Charlotte Grayson on the Grayson Waller effect, we had the whole Bianca coming in saying, I'm going to be sitting ringside for your match with Asuka at SmackDown. I think it's SmackDown before Money in the Bank. So.
Which tells you Bianca's definitely going to get involved. There's not even a question.
Yeah. And I think it's going to lead to a fatal three-way at Money in the Bank. I think that's what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen. Or Bianca does watch it from ringside, helps out Asuka or one of the two, or messes it up for both of them. So we'll see what happens there.
So then you had Paul Heyman and Jey Uso. You know, their little backstage. You know, Paul's like, Jay, are you in? And Jay's like, well, if you're in, I'm out.
I'm out.
You know, that whole thing. So then you had a mixed tag team match, which you don't see much of these days. You had Scarlett and Karrion Kross.
Yes.
AJ Styles and Michan.
Yeah.
And Scarlett and Karrion Kross came out on top, which is surprising. I like AJ Styles. I also like Karrion Kross. You know, here's another guy that's worked his ass off to get where he's at.
AJ's been putting guys over lately. So he wins, he'll win a match, he'll lose a match if you watch him like lately. But he's good at putting people over and putting Karrion Kross over. That's huge for him. That's big.
And I expect him to start giving Karrion Kross a little bit more of a push coming up later this year. Like, you know, that's a dude that's been around the block, that's been in the business for a long, long time, that deserves a little bit more respect than what he's been getting.
They've been pushing Kross for a while now. I'm
talking main event push. You know,
right. And as he deserves. I mean, Karrion's very good. And to think Vince almost let him go. He didn't want. I mean, thank God Triple H kept him around. But he was good in NXT too, so he had his, you know. I hope they push Kross. I'm a Kross guy. I like Kross.
You know, push Killer Kross, and let him give him the IC title or something. You know, get him into that mix. You know,
get him in the mix, right?
You know, or like even the US side.
Put him in the US title again. Yeah. Him against what do you call it? Young Boy over there. That would be good. I think really good.
Young Boy.
Austin Theory. I call him Young Boy.
Young Boy. Who the hell is Young Boy?
Austin Theory. He's a young boy. His future's only growing. I mean, that kid's going to be. He's the future of this business. There's no doubt about it.
And you know, it surprised the hell out of me how much they've pushed him. Actually, keeping the U.S.
Oh, I love Theory's great. Theory is
really. I didn't like him at first, but he's really grown on me, which is the point of giving somebody a push.
Mm-hmm. And he beat John Cena, so that was his big day. So
so then you had Cameron Grimes. She was attacked by Cameron Grimes from NXT. He was attacked by Baron Corbin in the back. I
saw that.
Baron Corbin. I guess he and Grimes have a little thing going on.
They have nothing for Corbin. They have nothing for Corbin. It's so bad. Corbin is just. And
then Corbin's been getting pushed around a lot. Recently, a lot of losses, a lot of squash matches, and so is this something?
Faith, my daughter, hates. She is not a Baron Corbin fan. She can't stand Baron Corbin.
I have nothing. Yeah, whatever, Baron Corbin.
I like Lone Wolf Baron Corbin. I was okay with that back in the day when he had long hair and he was,
Yeah.
But Baron Corbin,
Lone Wolf Baron Corbin.
Yes, yep.
So Baron Corbin's probably gonna put over Cameron Grimes.
Sure.
Big. Try get him a full time on the main roster by giving him a little bit more of a push. So then you had Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar out in the ring talking, and then they're interrupted by LA Knight. LA Knight comes down. He goes right after Rey for whatever reason, and so that leads to a match between LA Knight and Escobar.
Gets the win.
And that's Santos Escobar gets the win. Surprisingly, LA Knight's super over right now. The crowd loves him. It seems like they really they respond to him. He does LA Knight. Yeah, so like they're into his whole gimmick and stuff like that.
Yep.
But Escobar still gets the win.
Mm-hmm.
And then he beats the shit out of I think LA Knight beats the shit out of Escobar anyway. Then Ray
at the end of the match he did. Right. He got away. Yeah.
So then that leads us to the end of SmackDown with Roman Reigns coming out. 1,020 days so far.
1,020 days as champion.
1,020 days as champion. I can't remember who he's going to pass next. They said who it was. I wanted to write it down, but I forgot.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look it up. I'm not sure.
So you had Roman. You had that Solo Sikoa.
Solo Sikoa. Yeah. And Wise Man.
The wise man Paul Heyman. But Solo, he reminds me of a mix between like Taz and what the hell is his name? I can see him in my head right now. He was just oh shit, I can't think of another Samoan guy. he was shit. I can't think of his name now.
I don't know where you're going with this, but go ahead.
I can't remember. That pisses me off so much.
He is a test. Well, I'll keep you going. That he is a test type guy, and I can see that.
Like they have a Joe, Samoa Joe. There it is. Thank you,
Samoa Joe. Oh yeah, okay, I can see that. Yes.
Like if Samoa Joe and Taz were sitting in a sauna and they're both sweating, Solo Sikoa reminds me of the sweat coming from their balls.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't like Solo Sikoa just because I feel like he's a ripoff. Maybe once he gets a little bit more acclimated, he'll have his own like breakaway, his own gimmick thing. But he's out there. I just don't like him. I don't.
You see, he doesn't. I mean, he just sits there. He doesn't do anything. I mean, until the tribal chief tells him to do something, then he
gives him a thumb to the throat. I'm like, all right.
That's Umaga, though. That's an Umaga deal right there.
That's an Umaga deal. You're right. I don't know if I know they're all related.
I think there's there's so many cousins. I don't even know to go there.
It's like the towel on the head reminds me of a Taz or Samoa Joe thing, and like,
yes,
the whole ring gear.
I didn't even think about that till you said. I wasn't thinking Taz, but that's such a good comparison. It really is.
The ring gear and everything. It just reminds me of those two guys.
Crazy. Yeah.
So they come out. Jey Uso comes out after Roman does his acknowledge me.
Lexington, Kentucky. Acknowledge me.
I don't have a deep voice like he does.
Not many of us do.
So Jey Uso comes down. Roman wants to know what's going on. What's his deal? Is he in? Is he out? Is he going to be in line to be the next tribal chief? Well, then Jimmy comes down after Jey does a little bit of talking. Jimmy comes down. So now you have Jimmy and Jey, and they're face to face. Roman's it says to Jey, we're not the ones that doubted you. The wise man, he's not the one that doubted you. Who do you want to know who the one that doubted you was? And they kind of look over at Jimmy, and Jey turns around and he's like, and Jimmy's like, yeah, I was the one against it, and just looking out for him. And Jey's playing into that so well. He starts getting into Jimmy's shit. You're like, oh man, Usos have been together forever. I mean,
he sold that so bad. He sold it big time. He really did.
Like he started going into it and started ripping into Jimmy and stuff like that. Oh, Mr. Prom King, blah blah blah, all this other good stuff. Yeah. And he really laid into him, And I'm watching, man, I can't believe they're gonna break up the Usos because they've been together on the show for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. And I figured sooner or later one of them would become a bigger part, like a main event player, kind of like what Jey was saying.
Right.
But when Jimmy or Jey says to Jimmy, you're out, and places like, oh my god, I'm like holy shit, he's gonna be still in the bloodline. Then he looks Jimmy dead in the eyes and says, I'm out too. Oh, and
then all of a sudden, sweet chin music, baby.
He lit Roman up, man.
Was that great? I mean, that crowd erupted when he hit Roman. That place went nuts.
I'll tell you what, Roman, he sold that. He took that like a champ. He sold
it like a champ. Yes, he did. He sold it big time.
Head back, feet in the air. Solo Sikoa's left there scratching his ass like, what in the hell? He gets double super kicked, and then Roman's up again. He's like, pissed off, and he gets double super kicked.
The best part was, did you see Heyman's face at the end?
Yeah.
That was great.
The wise man, Paul Heyman, he's left befuddled as well.
You're like, what's going on,
It was so bad.
It was, but that crowd was so electric, and nobody saw that coming. I'll tell you right now, that's a Paul Heyman thing. Paul Heyman came up with that. No doubt.
And Paul, he's a smart dude. Super brilliant. And just it was set up so well. It's such a great story.
Great ending.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, goosebumps. I'm watching it and I'm thinking,
and that's why they say SmackDown's the better show than Raw.
It was a hell of a show.
No doubt about it.
So I'm watching that real time. I'm thinking like it's not going to happen. They're going to double cross Roman. But when Jey broke into that promo on Jimmy, I'm like, oh shit, he's this is it.
Yep.
Usos are done.
Oh,
then the double turn. I didn't see that coming.
You can't break up the Usos. We should have thought of that. We should have known they're not going to break up the Usos.
So it was a hell of an ending, a terrific show on SmackDown.
No doubt.
But that ending, it was the cherry on top. I'll tell you
It
that
definitely
right
was. And it was just great to see Jimmy just turn around and just chin Roman, just chin him.
It was unbelievable. So Maiko says Jimmy and Jay got me big time. Hey, Tribal Chief, hashtag acknowledge me
not loved it.
I think it says Rikishi. It wasn't Rikishi. It was Samoa Joe.
Joe.
Rikishi's right there. There's who knows? We might see Rikishi, who's the father of Jimmy and Jay.
You never know. I don't think they'll bring Rikishi back.
As a manager,
I'm not seeing that either.
But like you have now. Hear me out, David.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Okay.
So you have Solo Sikoa and the Tribal Chief with Paul Heyman in their corner. So that's the X factor is Paul Heyman. He usually doesn't get involved, but you just never know. So I could see the Usos with Rikishi in their corner. It's a family thing.
Oh, I see where you're going with this. Okay.
So you just it wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it would not surprise me. Adam Gless says great ending, absolutely great ending, terrific,
phenomenal.
So before we move on here real quick, go ahead, Dave, finish your thought there.
No, I was going to say, I remember Shawn Michaels saying a long time ago, WWE will always surprise you. They're always, at the ending, their endings are always good. So
100%.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do our show schedule here real quick. And so here's our show schedule. Like I just said, here's our show. There it is. There's our show schedule. So here on Out of the Box Sports, we got something for everybody. I'll tell you what, like, follow, subscribe on all social media platforms, Facebook, the old Instagram, YouTube, the Twitter box. We're on the TikTok. Maybe not so much Twitch, but it is what it is there. That's more gaming than anything. So Mondays at 4 p.m., we have the Joystick Junkies, followed by the Sully Squad at 6 p.m., 8:30 p.m., the Big Blue Power Hour. Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m., Extra Innings. Our boy Dave Yarnall's there, Extra Innings with Joe Sullivan from the Sully Squad.
Yes, sir.
Wednesdays at 10 a.m., that's where you'll find me next. I'm fast forwarding here. Next week at 10 a.m., I'll be back with the Bat Cave. I missed this past week. I was on vacation. 10 a.m., 8 p.m., you have the College Football Frenzy. That should be returning late July, I believe. 9:30 p.m., Dem 215 boys, again, with our boy Cowboy Dave Yarnall, along with Maiko Spencer and the Tower of Power. At 9:30 p.m., Dem 215 boys. So Thursdays at 8 p.m., you have the 4 for 4 Locker Room Podcast with Big Mike. Fridays at 10:30, you have Our Lovely Faces, the Atomic Drop Podcast. And then Saturdays, tomorrow night, you'll have me on the Vegas sports scene. My return after, I think, 3 or 4 weeks off due to work and camping and stuff like that. So I will be back tomorrow night with the Vegas sports scene. A lot to catch up on. A lot has happened since I've been gone. That is our show schedule. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to all shows. And we have a bunch of stuff coming up in the future. Just a little glimpse. We have a Notre Dame Fighting Irish pre-show, post-show. I think the Philadelphia Eagles as well. We're going to have an NFC East roundtable show, a Washington Commander show. So a lot going on here on Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. Can't wait. A lot of great stuff happening here. Beautiful stuff.
I heard there's a baseball team coming to Vegas soon. Is that correct?
The Oakland Athletics, possibly.
Yes.
It's not 100%, but I'd say it's like 95%. Like so if you're watching wrestling, the lid is about to go on the coffin during a coffin match. The lid is like, the Undertaker's opponent is in the coffin. He's reaching over the rope right now to grab the top of the coffin and shut it. That's where we're at right now with the Oakland Athletics becoming the Las Vegas Athletics.
Right. That's what I keep hearing. That's a possibility.
And we got one more read here real quick. The Not Your Average Jane's 14U softball team that I coach that my daughter plays on. We're looking for donations. Anything helps. $5, $1, $10, $20, $1 million if you'd like. That would go a long way. The costs always rise. Tournament costs have gone up. Insurance fees have gone up. Equipment is absolutely insane. Softballs and stuff like that. Chalk to line the fields and stuff. Again, gone up. Every little bit helps. We try to keep the cost down for our parents. So that they can afford easily, comfortably their daughters playing on the team. And we actually have our first first tournament tomorrow or today, however you look at it. It is 12:40 in the morning the next day. So today we have our first tournament. So we'll be down in the King of Prussia area towards Philadelphia a little bit with the tournament. So that's a Not Your Average James. Hit me up or Paul Spencer, Maiko Spencer, and we will lead you in the right direction if you'd like to donate. If not, that's fine too. It's not a big deal. Just looking for every like I said, every little bit counts. Every little bit helps.
Sure.
Thank you.
Well, good luck to your daughter's team tomorrow.
I'm excited. I'm ready for it.
It sounds like fun.
It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be interesting to see how much they've grown over this past off season. We've had some scrimmages, and we actually had a 1-day round robin tournament a couple of weeks ago. They did well in. We didn't have the outcome that we would have wanted, but we worked on the stuff that we failed at, and won from there.
My daughter's season just ended on Tuesday night. They actually, I'm not going to go through that, but she would play 12 and under districts too. But this year they didn't have a team because only they had 4 girls come out. So
that's a bummer.
Yeah, that's
actually, you bring up seasons ending. I'd like to also give a shout out to my daughter's school. Now, my daughter is in 7th grade, so she doesn't play high school yet. She's in junior high, but the high school team, Blue Mountain Eagles, they actually won their 4A state championship here in Pennsylvania.
Congrats to them.
So congratulations to them and the coaches, the players and coaches. Terrific season, and also another team that plays in their league, the Schuylkill League, which is terrific in all sports actually. But the Schuylkill League, the Single A Tri-Valley Bulldogs, shout out to them. They won the Single A championship today. So shout out to the Blue Mountain Lady Eagles on their softball state championship and the Tri-Valley Bulldogs.
Hey, shout out to them and hope they do well.
Maiko Spencer says, "Oh snap! Bring back Mr. Fuji and Rikishi, old school managers. Oh snap! Wait, is Fuji dead? Fuji is dead.
Fuji is dead. Yes.
Sorry, Paul. Maiko. Last week of July 26th, college football frenzy. That's what I thought.
There you go. There you go.
A hard date there. Maiko says, "Damn, this show is awesome."
All right, man. Is I hear you over there?
Adam Glenn says, "Good luck."
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it. Means a lot.
All right, so we have one more topic. We got one more. A quick Money in the Bank. We're not gonna give our predictions on Money in the Bank. I'm gonna go over the matches here real quick that I have written down. That's definitely happening here. We have Rollins. We have Rollins versus Finn Balor for the World Championship.
Yep.
We have Ricochet, LA Knight, Butch, Nakamura, Santos Escobar, and Damian Priest in the men's Money in the Bank. We have Becky, Zoe Stark, Zelina Vega, Bayley, Io Sky in the women's. And I think there's one more I'm missing there.
Did you say Becky, Bayley, Zelina, Io, and Zoe Stark?
Yeah. They're I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they need one more yet. So maybe that'll be decided, somewhere else.
Yep.
And then you also have Cody and Dom.
Interesting match.
So I'm sure they're going to add a little bit more to that yet. So the Money in the Bank's going to be a lot of fun. Money in the Bank's always a fun show, and it's in London.
It's always a good show.
So it's actually a 3 p.m. Start time, which is going to be interesting in itself, actually. So
is that in London?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Somewhere in England anyway. I don't know if it's London exactly, but it's in England. So it's another early one.
Right.
So that's all I got for today. Let me hit one more comment up before if Bayley loses to Shotzi, she is out. Correct. If Bayley loses to Shotzi, she is out.
That is correct.
There should be 6 girls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 guys. There should be 6 girls. So they're missing one. I don't know who it is.
I think there was still one remaining that they didn't have yet.
They didn't decide yet for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Don't know.
That could be a spot for Bianca Belair also. Who knows? That
could be a possibility.
That'd be interesting.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, that's all I got for tonight. Do you have anything else you want to top this off?
I'm good. I want to thank everybody for chiming in tonight. I really appreciate it. We appreciate it. And we'll definitely hope to be back next week.
And I'll tell you what, man, 2 hours and 14 minutes into this, Dave, didn't feel like it, brother. It didn't feel like it.
No, it didn't at all.
Great first show.
Crazy.
First show. Yep. And,
Yes, absolutely.
So we'll see everybody next Friday night, 10:30 p.m. And thanks for your comments and thanks for checking out. One more comment. I can't forget it. I always wait. I'm always looking in that corner. Adam Glenn, our boy Adam Glenn says, good show. Thank you, Adam Glenn.
Thank you, Adam. Really appreciate it. It means a lot. It really does.
All right, we're out of here.
Later, all.
See it.